Chapter 1405. Chaos Origin Divine Power is so powerful. If I could use it in an eye bloodline technique. With this idea in mind, Zhao Feng began to experiment. If he could fuse such powerful Chaos Origin Divine Power into an eye bloodline technique, it would definitely be extraordinarily powerful. Right now, my strongest Chaos Origin combat skill is the Chaos Origin Divine Sword. If he was going to do something, he would do it the strongest. Zhao Feng planned to start with the Chaos Origin Divine Sword and fuse in or create a new eye bloodline technique. 1 year later, Zhao Feng's flying ship left the Chixing Zone and entered the Antian Zone. Within the space-time robe, a handsome and mysterious youth stood in front of Zhao Feng, his entire body exuding a faint light that affected time. This was the new divine body that Zhao Feng had created using the branches of the space-time tree. This divine body was rather similar to the light race's time body, but it probably only had 20 to 30% of the effect. And within this divine body was Zhao Feng's fourth soul, Zhao Kong. He had already completely fused with the eye of space-time, which was close to the quasi-god eye level. Go and cultivate by yourself, Zhao Feng straightforwardly said. Zhao Kong's soul intent had reached rank 9, but his divine body was only that of a rank 8 ancient god. However, his divine body had incredible potential and talent, and it wouldn't take long for it to catch up. When the time came, his fourth clone, Zhao Kong, would probably be the strongest helper of all of Zhao Feng's clones. In this long period of time, other than creating his clones, Zhao Feng spent the majority of his time comprehending and creating new eye bloodline techniques. One day, Zhao Feng left the space-time robe and arrived outside the flying ship. A ripple of eye intense suddenly appeared in his left eye. The Chaos Origin Divine Power in Zhao Feng's left eye rapidly condensed into a miniature Chaos Origin Divine Sword. The miniature Chaos Origin Divine Sword shot out with incredible speed, instantly crossing 200,000 to 300,000 librum. Wherever the Chaos Origin Divine Sword passed, it would madly devour other energies to strengthen itself. What could not devour would be destroyed. Not bad. Zhao Feng nodded. Now, he was able to use the Chaos Origin Divine Sword with eye bloodline techniques, and its power and speed seemed to have improved. However, the ordinary mixed Origin Divine Sword was a continuous attack that could cause a large amount of damage over time. The pupil technique version of the Chaos Divine Sword, on the other hand, was a one-time consumable. Comparatively speaking, it wasn't very useful. However, Zhao Feng had only just deduced this ocular technique, so there was still a lot of room for improvement. Next, he would either have to raise the damage of the Chaos Origin Divine Sword technique to another level, or he would have to make sure that his eye technique could also deal continuous damage. I'll deduce in the first direction and increase the power of my ocular technique. After a few moments of thought, Zhao Feng entered the space-time robe and continued to create new eye bloodline techniques. Another year passed in the outside world. One day, Zhao Feng's flying ship entered the Xiling Zone's spiritual race territory. I'm finally back. I wonder how Yufei is doing now. Inside the spaceship, Zhao Feng smiled. He had left without saying goodbye for such a long time. Zhao Yufei would definitely be angry with him. But when Zhao Feng's flying ship passed through a 4.5-star faction, 2 ancient god-divine senses swept out from the palace below, but the isolation of the flying ship made it impossible for them to sense Zhao Feng's situation. In a simple and unadorned hall, a red-skinned middle-aged man and a violet-robed woman were seated on 2 sides. The red-skinned middle-aged man was a rank 7 ancient god, while the violet-robed woman had an even stronger aura, being a peak rank 7. Moreover, she had a voluptuous figure and a peerlessly beautiful face. This flying ship speed is peak rank 7, so the person inside must be at least peak rank 7. However, he's probably just passing through this place. The violet-robed woman softly said, "Peak rank 7. The red-skinned, middle-aged man's expression darkened, but he said nothing. But suddenly, the spaceship that was already far away suddenly changed direction. Whoosh! The ancient, dark yellow spaceship came to a stop above the palaces. Back again, the violet-robed woman and the red-skinned man immediately stood up and left the palace. "We took the liberty of using our divine senses to observe good, sir, just now. We meant no harm," the red-skinned man straightforwardly said. After all, this person might be an ancient god above peak rank 7, and it truly was rather rude of them to use their divine senses to observe him. Swish! Zhao Feng appeared out of thin air. A powerful ancient god aura immediately spread out, causing the souls of all the nearby experts below the ancient god level to tremble. They felt like they were bound and unable to move. Of course, this was under the condition that Zhao Feng was concealing his aura and not being too ostentatious. Zhao Feng. The two ancient gods stared in shock at Zhao Feng, a hint of apprehension in their eyes. Zhao Feng's eyes twinkled, but he said nothing. He was extremely famous in the Xiling Zone, so it wasn't strange for these people to recognize him. However, it was rather unusual for these people to fear him. Zhao Feng had noticed this place and returned because, on his first visit to the Xiling Zone, he happened to visit this faction, Universal Salvation Hall. And it was precisely because of Universal Salvation Hall that Zhao Feng came into contact with the Life Origin sect and ultimately joined the spiritual race. Based on what Zhao Feng knew, Universal Salvation Hall was a Medicine Dao faction, but when he passed by this place, he realized that this place was suffused with a somber aura. The majority of its members were also seething with killing intent. It's actually Zhao Feng. In the gambling match between the two races several years ago, he defeated the ancient god genius of the Blazing Gold race. He's probably even stronger now. What do we do? The red-skinned man messaged the violet-robed woman. The violet-robed woman stared at Zhao Feng, her eyes extremely gloomy. Even with her peak rank 7 cultivation, she couldn't tell what level of cultivation Zhao Feng had reached. Zhao Feng was a rank 7 ancient god before, but only a few years had passed. No matter how strong he was, he couldn't possibly have reached rank 8. If they gathered the strength of everyone present, they might be able to contend against him. But the violet-robed woman couldn't see through Zhao Feng's cultivation, and she felt inexplicably uneasy. Thus, she did not act recklessly. Zhao Feng just returned to the Xiling Zone, so he might not know what's going on. We'll hide it from him and think of a way to keep him here. Then we'll report this to the higher-ups and capture him in one fell swoop. The violet-robed woman thought of a rather reliable method. Okay, if we can capture him, we'll have rendered a great service. The red-skinned man was secretly excited. After making their decision, the two of them messaged everyone else to cooperate so that they wouldn't give themselves away. You're the #1 genius of the Xiling Zone, Zhao Feng, who directly attained rank 6 of the Heavenly Divine Realm and broke into rank 7 in just a few short years, right? This Chung has always wanted to get to know Genius Zhao. Please do not take any offense. The red-skinned man gave a genial smile. Young Master Zhao, you've probably just returned. Why don't you stay here and rest a little? This will also give us a chance to get to know you. The violet-robed woman had a charming posture and a pleasant voice that seemed capable of melting one's heart. It's been a long and arduous journey. I'm truly a little tired. Thank you for your trouble. From start to finish, Zhao Feng had been carefully observing the red-skinned man and the violet-robed woman before putting away the flying ship. He felt that there was something very wrong with these two. Since they wanted to keep him here so badly, he might as well stay and see what tricks they had up their sleeves. The man and woman were startled. They hadn't expected that Zhao Feng would so easily keep them here. The red-skinned man looked at Zhao Feng and discovered that Zhao Feng's gaze was fixed on the violet-robed woman. He couldn't help but send a voice transmission with a smile. I think this boy is most likely interested in you. Although the violet-robed woman was rather old, she was a cultivator. Her complexion was no different from a young woman's, and her enchanting figure and mature temperament were rare for young women. It is Universal Salvation Hall's great fortune to be able to receive young Master Zhao. The violet-robed woman smiled charmingly and immediately invited Zhao Feng into Universal Salvation Hall. Zhao Feng was arranged to stay in a palace rich in spiritual energy and suffused with the fragrance of flowers. Zhao Feng couldn't be bothered with anything else. His cultivation journey truly had been rather dull, so he decided to leisurely stroll around and relax. After resting for 2 days, Zhao Feng recalled the matter of eye bloodline techniques and suddenly had an idea. Chaos Origin Divine Power is extremely inclusive. If I can fuse it with the Tribulation Lightning Eye Flame, not only will it be even more powerful, it can also become an instantaneous eye bloodline technique that's almost impossible to dodge. With this thought in mind, Zhao Feng attempted to fuse these two eye bloodline techniques. However, the Chaos Origin Divine Sword and the Tribulation Lightning Eye Flame were both rather powerful. Perfectly fusing them would take more than 1 or 2 days. But after just 5 days, an abnormally powerful and scorching ancient energy descended upon Universal Salvation Hall. Whoosh! Whoosh! The violet-robed woman and red-skinned man immediately rushed out, paying respects to ancient God Golden Wheel. Zhao Feng is in Universal Salvation Hall. The two respectfully greeted ancient God Golden Wheel, whose body was covered in golden glassy tattoos. With ancient God Golden Wheel personally here, this brat is doomed. The red-skinned man flattered. Ancient God Golden Wheel was an outstanding rank 8 ancient god, and he had the bloodline of the blazing gold race. It was rumored that he had once battled with a peak rank 8 ancient god for 3 days before finally killing him. Haha, Zhao Feng, get out here. Ancient God Golden Will looked at Zhao Feng's palace and loudly laughed. Ancient God Golden Will hadn't expected for his luck to be so good. The faction he occupied was the closest to Universal Salvation Hall, so upon receiving the news, he immediately rushed over. Kaboom! The dark red, scorching sound wave was like a translucent tsunami that covered the sky and covered the earth as it surged forward. If an ordinary rank 8 ancient god were suddenly disturbed in the middle of their cultivation, their mind would be heavily injured and perhaps even suffer a cultivation defect. This is the trick they're playing. Zhao Feng opened his eyes, his expression cold. Swish! In a flash, Zhao Feng appeared in the sky. At this moment, the 2 ancient gods of Universal Salvation Hall were standing on either side of ancient God Golden Wheel. All the experts of Universal Salvation Hall had joined together into a strange formation. Zhao Feng, it really is you. Obediently accept your death. Ancient God Golden Wheel was extremely excited to see Zhao Feng, and without another word, he waved his hand. A blazing golden wheel of fire shot toward Zhao Feng in a streak of golden red light, accompanied by waves of fire. So powerful! Is this the strength of the blazing gold race? The red-skinned man was stunned. If it were him, he would have been instantly killed. Ancient God Golden Wheel has gotten even stronger. Not even a peak rank 8 ancient god would dare to be careless with this attack. The violet-robed woman sensed the powerful ancient energy on ancient God Golden Wheel's body and couldn't help but shiver. But a moment later, the two of them were struck dumb. When the blazing golden wheel reached Zhao Feng, it suddenly became extremely slow, as if it couldn't even move an inch. The golden wheel of fire was still slowly spinning, but it gave them the feeling that they would never be able to get close to Zhao Feng. You want to take this Zhao's head with just this bit of skill? Zhao Feng faintly smiled as he scanned the 3 ancient gods in front of him. Chapter 1406. You want to take this Zhao's head with just this bit of skill? Zhao Feng faintly smiled as he scanned the 3 ancient gods. The blazing golden wheel in front of him slowly turned, but it seemed like it would never get close to Zhao Feng. This scene caused the hearts of the 3 ancient gods to skip a beat, and their faces filled with shock. Time intent. The 3 ancient gods naturally sensed this energy. But to be able to stop ancient God Golden Wheel's attack, just what level had Zhao Feng's time intent reached? Impossible. How could you? Ancient God Golden Wheel's body trembled as he stared in disbelief at Zhao Feng. The Blazing Gold Race's intelligence report said that Zhao Feng was only a rank 7 ancient god. But could a rank 7 ancient god so easily neutralize the supreme technique of a rank 8 ancient god? It hadn't even been 10 years, but Zhao Feng had grown to this level. You're probably the only one who came. Zhao Feng scanned the distance and saw that there was no one else. This ancient god golden wheel had definitely planned to take all the credit for himself and had rushed over as quickly as possible. Boom! Zhao Feng punched, pulverizing the blazing golden wheel. Moreover, the chaos origin divine power on his fist devoured all the other energy before returning to Zhao Feng's body. Run! Upon seeing this, ancient god golden wheel immediately fled. Boom! Ancient god golden wheel's body exploded with golden flames as he burned his divine power and used his secret art to increase his speed and flee into the distance. Given the strength that Zhao Feng had displayed, even if the three of them worked together, they still had no chance of winning. The red-skinned man and violet-robed woman also used instant movement in two different directions. The three of them fled in different directions. At this moment, they were all betting that as long as Zhao Feng went to capture the other person, they would be able to survive. You think you can escape? Zhao Feng's left eye suddenly surged with powerful ripples of eye intent. Bish! Bish! In an instant, two chaos divine swords that were as thick as an arm shot out from within, and they flew towards the red-skinned middle-aged man and the purple-robed woman respectively. In less than a moment, the two mixed origin divine swords traveled hundreds of thousands of miles and pierced through their bodies. A blood-curdling scream sounded out as the two of them turned into countless pieces and disappeared. Above the dense, ancient forest, the space fluctuated. Whoosh! A golden figure leaped out of the void and quickly went far away. That was close. Zhao Feng chose to kill the two of them first. I managed to escape. Ancient God Golden will breathed a sigh of relief. We have to report this matter to the Blazing Gold race. We have to kill Zhao Feng before he returns to the spiritual race. Ancient God Golden Wheel's expression tightened. Based on the strength that Zhao Feng had displayed just now, his cultivation had at least reached the peak of the 8th level, or even the 9th level. With such a terrifying rate of growth, they absolutely could not allow Zhao Feng to continue growing. But at this moment, Ancient God Golden Wheel faintly laughed. You still want to kill me? How is this possible? You're actually in front of me? Ancient God Golden will seem to be given a massive fright, his face ghastly pale as he fearfully stared at Zhao Feng. Even if Zhao Feng was extremely fast, he should have caught up from behind. How had he suddenly appeared in front of him? Whoosh! Zhao Feng slowly flew over, approaching Ancient God Golden Wheel. A long time ago, he had already learned the dimensional shifting. Spatial shift could cover an extremely long distance. Just now, Zhao Feng had used spatial shift, but he ended up running too far and had to come back to find Ancient God Golden Wheel. Zhao Feng, then let's die together. Ancient God Golden Wheel's face was wretched as he clenched his teeth and began to burn the divine power in his body. Given the grudge between the Blazing Gold race and Zhao Feng would never let him go. Thus, he had decided to self-detonate. If he could kill Zhao Feng, he would have profited. You want to self-detonate? Zhao Feng waved a palm. A layer of strange, white energy immediately engulfed Ancient God Golden Wheel. In a flash, Ancient God Golden Wheel seemed to enter a world of slow motion. His every movement, every thought, and even the process of self-detonation became extremely slow. Whoosh! Zhao Feng immediately approached the self-detonating Ancient God Golden Wheel, his left eye unleashing a powerful soul energy to search Ancient God Golden Wheel's soul. So that's what's going on. The two races are going to war. Zhao Feng was taken aback. The spiritual race and the Blazing Gold race had always been at odds with each other. If not for the suppression of a life-sacred land, the two races would have gone to war several 100 million years ago. But this time, the life-sacred land was not able to suppress them. The exact details could be traced back to the 3rd year after Zhao Feng left the spiritual race. At the time, a large secret dimension appeared in the Xiling Zone. All the signs indicated that this secret dimension was deeply connected to one of the top 10 ancient races. The God Realm Sacred Land of the Xiling Zone worked together with 4 5-star factions to seal off the news and begin their own exploration. But due to the restrictions of the secret dimension, only those below the ancient god level could enter. Thus, all the major factions sent their top-class experts below the ancient god level into the secret dimension. In the end, the spiritual race disciples managed to steal an extremely important treasure from the blazing gold race disciples. At the start, the two races tried to negotiate, but they failed. Afterward, the two sides began to invade and fight over the treasure. For this reason, Universal Salvation Hall, which was originally part of the spiritual race's territory, was occupied by the blazing gold race. This ancient god Golden doesn't know much, and it might even be inaccurate. Zhao Feng did not completely trust ancient god Golden Wheel's memories, only using them as a reference. Once he returned to the spiritual race, Zhao Feng would naturally know the specifics. You could die now. Zhao Feng waved his hand at ancient god Golden Wheel. In a flash, ancient god Golden Wheel returned to normal, and his speed suddenly increased. No! Ancient god Golden Wheel wanted to stop the self-detonation, but he couldn't. It was like he had entered a world of acceleration. Rumble. The deafening destructive energy of the golden flames wreaked havoc and destroyed a large area of the earth. As for Zhao Feng, he had long ago left the range of the explosion. Now that my identity has been exposed, I can't use the flying ship to travel, Zhao Feng said after some thought. In addition, he could not let the blazing gold race know of his true identity. If the blazing gold race knew that he had gone from rank 7 to rank 9 in just a few short years, they would probably immediately send out god lords to kill him. Although Zhao Feng and Xian Wuheng had worked together to defeat a god lord, Xian Wuheng had been the main force in that battle. But that was because Xian Wuheng was the main force, while Zhao Feng used sneak attacks to restrain him. If Zhao Feng were to face a god lord by himself, he would only be able to run. Moreover, Zhao Feng's cultivation speed truly was too fast. If the spiritual race learned of this, it was inevitable that some of them would become greedy. Swish! Zhao Feng took out the ancestral artifact fragment from his interspatial dimension. Is there a way to hide my cultivation energy? It would be best if not even god lords could sense it. Zhao Feng asked. That's rather simple. The ancestral artifact fragment appeared to be very relaxed. The complete ancestral artifact fragment had been born countless years ago and possessed vast knowledge and many secret techniques. A secret art to hide one's cultivation was naturally nothing difficult. This is a secret sealing art of the god sealing race. Once you comprehend it and I use it together, we can even hide from First Heaven God Lord. The ancestral artifact fragment unleashed a stream of light that entered Zhao Feng's mind. 3 days later, Zhao Feng successfully comprehended the god sealing race's secret sealing art. Working together with the ancestral artifact fragment, he sealed his cultivation energy to the peak of rank 8. Zhao Feng began to use spatial shift to travel. Bzzz. Spatial ripples began to revolve around Zhao Feng. Gradually, the spatial vortex shrank, but the spatial ripples intensified. A moment later, Zhao Feng's body sank into the spatial vortex. He had already reached the Xiling Zone, so he wasn't too far away. Using spatial shift would be faster. Bzzz. A spatial vortex suddenly appeared, and Zhao Feng's body slowly emerged from it. After using spatial shift several times, Zhao Feng would rest for a few moments. Less than 3 months later, Zhao Feng smoothly arrived at the spiritual race. Given Zhao Feng's status in the spiritual race, he naturally caused a huge uproar. Zhao Feng had disappeared for many years without any news. Many people even believed that Zhao Feng had died in an accident or had been assassinated by the blazing gold race. But now, Zhao Feng had not only returned to the spiritual race, but his cultivation had also reached peak rank 8. It was clear that Zhao Feng had encountered a major opportunity while out tempering. Otherwise, how could he have reached peak rank 8 in less than 10 years? The first thing Zhao Feng did upon his return was to seek out Zhao Yufei. However, she was in seclusion in the spiritual race's forbidden ground. Zhao Feng, what sort of opportunity did you encounter outside that allowed you to reach peak rank 8? Zhao Yufei's master, the spiritual race's third elder, asked. He had been doing his best to guide Zhao Yufei this entire time, stimulating the power of her spiritual race bloodline in the hopes that Zhao Yufei could surpass Zhao Feng. After much difficulty, Zhao Yufei had encountered a major opportunity in the secret dimension, and upon her return, she entered seclusion and began to soar in strength. But Zhao Feng had already reached peak rank 8. I accidentally entered a dimension left behind by the light race. There were many opportunities. Zhao Feng gave a rather vague explanation. It seems like you and Yufei are both people blessed by great fortune. The third elder sighed. What's wrong with Yufei? Zhao Feng immediately asked. Zhao Yufei had probably entered one of the top 10 ancient secret dimensions of the Xiling Zone. There were apparently rumors about Zhao Yufei in ancient God Golden Wheel's memories, but he wasn't very sure. She obtained the legacy of one of the top 10 ancient races, the God Martial clan. The third elder somewhat excitedly and smugly said. The third elder had always held a grudge against him for refusing Zhao Feng as a disciple. Now that Zhao Yufei had obtained the legacy of the God Martial race, she was certain to surpass Zhao Feng in the future and lead the spiritual race to glory. God Martial race? Zhao Feng was startled. The God Martial race was a mythical race ranked 5th among the 10,000 ancient races. It was the race with the highest comprehension ability. The members of this race generally had a cultivation level that far surpassed their own cultivation level. They also had a high level of comprehension of various intents, and it was even easier for them to comprehend law energy than other races. In addition, the God Martial race was a warlike race with unparalleled talent for battle. They could use all kinds of combat skills and secret arts to an extremely high level, and they were a mythical race with supreme fighting power. This is probably the reason why the Blazing Gold race is at war with the spiritual race. Zhao Feng's heart sank. The cultivation speed of the spiritual race had always been the fastest among the 10,000 ancient races, and now that Zhao Yufei had obtained the legacy of the God Martial race, she had made up for her flaws in cultivation level and comprehension ability. In just 1,000 years, or 10,000 years, Zhao Yufei would be able to become a God Lord, and she would be a spiritual race God Lord with extremely powerful fighting abilities. This would be enough to change the fate of the spiritual race. As the mortal enemy of the spiritual race, the Blazing Gold race would never allow such a thing to happen. Chapter 1407. I'm afraid that this is the reason the Blazing Gold race is at war with the spiritual race. Zhao Feng's heart sank. Correct. The Blazing Gold race even sent a half-step God Lord to assassinate Zhao Yufei, but my race discovered and stopped them. The third elder's expression chilled as he spoke. What? The Blazing Gold race actually sent a half-step God Lord to assassinate Yufei? Zhao Feng's face was also filled with surprise. He hadn't expected for the Blazing Gold race to send a force of this level to deal with a true God Junior. At present, Yufei is the core of the spiritual race. Once she matures, the trifling Blazing Gold race will no longer be a match for my spiritual race. The third elder rejoiced, his eyes gleaming with anticipation. Firstly, he was Zhao Yufei's master. If Zhao Yufei became a God Lord, he would also gain some face. Secondly, Zhao Feng had once refused his offer to take him as a disciple, and the third elder's second disciple, Zhao Yufei, was certain to surpass Zhao Feng in the future. In the past, when outsiders spoke of the number one genius of the spiritual race, it was always Zhao Feng. But in the future, that might not be the case. Yufei became a rank 7 ancient god after returning from the secret realm and has been in seclusion for several years now. The third elder's smile widened as he saw the shock on Zhao Feng's face. Zhao Feng nodded. Zhao Yufei's potential had always been extraordinary, and now that she had obtained the legacy of the God Martial race, her future achievements would be extraordinary. she might even be able to lead the spiritual race back to its former glory. Zhao Feng, the spiritual race is currently lacking in high-level fighters. Since you've just returned, why don't you go to the front lines and temper yourself? The third elder continued to speak to Zhao Feng. Although he had a grudge against Zhao Feng, that was only because Zhao Feng had refused his offer to take him as a disciple. Zhao Feng had just returned from his travels, and his cultivation had soared to peak rank 8. His foundation was definitely not firm, and his strength could not compare to that of a veteran peak rank 8. Thus, the third elder wanted Zhao Feng to temper himself on the front lines and consolidate his strength. At the same time, he could alleviate the spiritual race's disadvantage. Lack of high-level combat power? Zhao Feng was a little confused. Logically speaking, the overall strength of the spiritual race should be slightly stronger than the Blazing Gold race. The war between the two races was instigated by the Blazing Gold race. Back then, they suddenly launched a sneak attack that swiftly wiped out a large number of the spiritual race's upper echelon forces. Although the spiritual race was the first to react, the Blazing Gold race still holds the advantage in this war. The third elder said with a slightly angry expression, "All right then." Zhao Feng agreed to participate in the battle. After he had become a core disciple of the spirit race, he had gained a lot of benefits by relying on the spirit race, a 5-star faction. Moreover, the war between the two clans had started because of Zhao Yufei, so it was not appropriate for Zhao Feng to interfere. In addition, after a large number of battles and slaughters, when the time came for Zhao Feng to remove the seal on his cultivation and reveal his true cultivation, the possibility of others suspecting him would be greatly reduced. Okay, hurry to the Celestial Net sect. This faction is one of the more important parts of the spiritual race's territory, and the Blazing Gold race has always wanted to occupy it. The third elder immediately gave Zhao Feng an important mission. After leaving the forbidden ground of the spiritual race, Zhao Feng tidied himself up a little and then set off. At the same time, in a secret underground palace suffused with blazing light, reporting to Elder, Zhao Feng has returned to the spiritual race. A golden armored man appeared in the underground palace, his expression respectful. 3 balls of light floated in front of him. The one in the middle was rather old, but he was tall and muscular. His entire body was shrouded in golden flames, and his face was stern and dignified. That brat has appeared again. Elder Jin's eyes flashed. He was the Elder Jin who had led the Blazing Gold race in the gambling match between the two races, and he had a very deep impression of Zhao Feng. The spiritual race is truly blessed to have produced 2 peerless geniuses in Zhao Feng and Zhao Yufei. To Elder Jin's left, a rather short, middle-aged man had a sinister and cold light in his eyes. What is Zhao Feng's current situation? Elder Jin asked. Zhao Feng has returned to the spiritual race, and his cultivation has reached peak rank 8. He has already left the spiritual race and seems to be preparing to enter the battlefield. The golden armored man immediately replied. Peak rank 8? Elder Jin and the short middle-aged man were both taken aback. In less than 10 years, he went from rank 7 to peak rank 8. Elder Jin's expression was extremely grim. The moment he said this, the dark gray flame to Elder Jin's right trembled, exuding a bone-chilling chill. Pay close attention to Zhao Feng's every move. If there is any news, report immediately. Elder Jin immediately barked. The golden armored man left the secret hall. We can't let go of this chance. Once we know where Zhao Feng is, immediately send out experts to kill him. Elder Jin's eyes dimmed as he began to think of a suitable candidate. At this moment, the ball of cold, dark gray flames on Elder Jin's right side suddenly whistled and rose. A figure walked out from within. She was wearing a light gold and luxurious dress. Her appearance was extremely beautiful, but there was a hint of coldness in it. Her tall and exquisite body would cause people to have wild and fanciful thoughts. Her aura was strange and obscure, like an illusory iceberg. Leave this Zhao Feng to me, the icy woman coldly said. The short, middle-aged man stared at the icy woman with a strange gleam in his eyes. That's fine. I'll leave the matter of Zhao Feng to you." Elder Jean faintly smiled and agreed. The cold flame then engulfed the icy woman's body and vanished. TSK. Ancient God Ice Flame is getting more and more beautiful, but she's a little too cold. Why is she so concerned about Zhao Feng? The short, middle-aged man immediately asked after Ancient God Ice Flame left. Ancient God Ice Flame was the #1 beauty of the Blazing Gold race, and the most talented genius the Blazing Gold race had seen in the last 100 million years. Long ago, when Ancient God Ice Flame was still making a name for herself, countless geniuses of the Xiling Zone pursued her, but Ancient God Ice Flame never took a fancy to a single one of them. Later on, Ancient God Ice Flame went out adventuring, and by the time she returned, she was already a half-step God Lord. She's just interested in geniuses, not in love, but in torturing them to death. Elder Jean gave a profound smile. 10 some days later, Zhao Feng arrived at the Celestial Net Sect in the territory of the spiritual race. The Celestial Net Sect was located at the peak of a chain of mountains. As Zhao Feng approached, he was immediately noticed by the people of the Celestial Net Sect. "Who goes there?" A loud and resounding voice resounded through the world. Spiritual races Zhao Feng has come in the orders of the Third Elder to reinforce the Celestial Net Sect. Zhao Feng straightforwardly replied, but he was still rather confused. The person in charge of the Celestial Net Sect definitely knew him, so why would they ask such a question? He couldn't help but use his left eye to peer through the dark yellow defensive array and the many buildings to see the source of the voice. This was a dignified, middle-aged man wearing a golden robe. He had a powerful aura and was a peak rank 8. Standing next to the golden-robed man was a handsome youth with a cold and arrogant expression. Ancient God, Ice Origin. Zhao Feng was startled, and then he understood. Ancient God Ice Origin was the ancient god that had been the trump card of the spiritual race in the gambling match between the two races. But in the gambling match, Ancient God Ice Origin had suffered a crushing defeat. In the end, Zhao Feng had single-handedly reversed the situation and obtained victory. Back then, Zhao Feng had also sensed Ancient God Ice Origin's envy and jealousy. Within the Celestial Net Sect, "Father, this person is Zhao Feng." Ancient God Ice Origin called out. "Peak rank 8? The golden-robed man was taken aback. "What? Peak rank 8? Ancient God Ice Origin was flabbergasted, and then he fell into a daze. He had been utterly humiliated in the gambling match between the two races. Upon his return, Ancient God Ice Origin had devoted himself to cultivation, and with his father's help, he had managed to reach peak rank 7 with great difficulty. He had originally planned to challenge Zhao Feng to a battle the next time he met him. He hadn't expected that when he met Zhao Feng, his father would say that Zhao Feng was a peak rank 8. Although your strength is inferior to his, he is now in the Celestial Net Sect and will have to listen to your father's orders. In this war between the two races, he won't have a chance to shine. I will make sure that your achievements far surpass Zhao Feng's." The golden-robed man lovingly looked at Ancient God Ice Origin. Ancient God Ice Origin firmly nodded his head. At this moment, a gap appeared in the Celestial Net Sect's defensive array. Whoosh! Zhao Feng entered the Celestial Net Sect. "So, it's Zhao Feng, the genius of my spiritual race. I am the commander of this place, Ancient God Blue Distance. You're new here, so I'll have someone prepare a residence for you. Rest for a while." Ancient God Blue Distance looked at Zhao Feng with great enthusiasm. "I'll have to trouble you," Zhao Feng replied, and then he entered a spacious and ornate palace. He was willing to participate in the war because he planned to do his part for the spiritual race and reverse the disadvantageous situation it was in. It appeared that Ancient God Blue Distance would not give him this chance. But this was fine. Zhao Feng could peacefully spend some time on the front lines. When the time came, even if he revealed his true cultivation, he would not arouse too much suspicion. After settling into the palace, Zhao Feng began to cultivate, focusing on increasing his intent energy and strengthening his various skills. That night, the gloomy and silent Celestial Net sect suddenly became scorching hot. Buzz! BZZ! A moment later, the Celestial Net sect's defensive array shuddered, alarming all the members of the Celestial Net sect. Enemy attack! Enemy attack! Within the Celestial Net sect, panicked voices rang out. A large group of people had gathered outside the Celestial Net sect, led by a giant middle-aged man who stood 30 feet tall. His entire body flickered with gold and silver light, and he radiated a fiery aura. Whoosh! A golden-robed figure leapt out and stood in the air, exuding a powerful ancient aura. Umph! I just knew that you wouldn't give up on the Celestial Net sect so easily. Ancient God Blue Distance coldly snorted. Enough nonsense. Ancient God Blue Distance. Today, we will definitely seize the Celestial Net sect. The middle-aged man shouted loudly. A scorching golden flame spread out and dyed the sky with a dazzling golden light. Boom! The giant middle-aged man punched out with both fists, and a blazing golden sun came crashing down. You're still too inexperienced. Ancient God Blue Distance scorned. Attack! Ancient God Blue Distance immediately shouted, and a crystalline divine power began to emanate from his body as he charged forward. Whoosh! Within the Celestial Net sect, countless experts followed Ancient God Blue Distance out. Haha, the Celestial Net sect is ours. Right at this moment, an old man with slightly withered skin appeared behind the middle-aged man. The elder's body immediately exuded a scorching pressure that caused all the members of the Celestial Net sect to freeze as if they were being set on fire. Boom! The elder waved a hand, and a dark brown flame transformed into a savage dragon that howled forward. Not good. A rank 9 ancient god. Ancient God Blue Distance grimaced. Swish! The crystalline divine power around him surged out, forming a massive crystal shield in front of him. Boom! Bang! The crystal shield was shattered a few moments later. The dark brown flame dragon howled forward, pushing back the ancient gods led by Ancient God Blue Distance. One of the weaker rank 7 ancient gods found it hard to resist the powerful flames. His body was ignited, and a few moments later, he was burned to ash. Retreat! Ancient God Blue Distance immediately ordered. Only by retreating to the Celestial Net sect and waiting for reinforcements would they have a sliver of hope. Chapter 1408. Withdraw. Ancient God Blue Distance immediately ordered. Only by withdrawing to the Celestial Net sect and waiting for reinforcements would they have a sliver of hope. Whoosh! 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 The members of the Celestial Net sect who had just charged out immediately retreated. I didn't think that the Blazing Gold race would dispatch a rank 9 ancient god. A white-haired elder had a worried look on his face. He was none other than the sect master of the Celestial Net sect, a rank 8 ancient god. This elder should be the Blazing Gold race's ancient god Darkrow. Ancient God Blue Distance solemnly stared at the withered elder. That cruel and bloodthirsty ancient god Darkrow, who likes to capture his enemies and slowly torture them to death. A middle-aged ancient god fiercely trembled. Everyone in the Celestial Net sect felt a heavy and oppressive haze. After losing to ancient god Darkrow, if one didn't have the resolve to self-detonate, all that awaited them was endless torture. Celestial Net sect master, this defensive array won't be able to last for much longer. Lead some of the Celestial Net sect disciples and activate the sect-protecting array. Ancient God Blue Distance immediately called out. Okay, the Celestial Net sect master left. The Celestial Net sect was an extremely ancient 4.5-star faction, and its reserves could not be underestimated. The Celestial Net sect had once used its sect-protecting array to injure a peak rank 8 ancient god and force him to retreat. At the same time, Ancient God Blue Distance sent out a message for help. Kiki, it's only fun if you resist. Ancient God Darkrow gave a sinister chuckle. He then lightly waved his withered hand. Attack! The giant middle-aged man immediately called out. Broom! Flames of various colors surged toward the Celestial Net sect's defensive array like a tsunami. Defend! Ancient God Blue Distance immediately called out. All the members of the Celestial Net sect immediately poured their divine power into the defensive array. Father, what do we do? Ancient God Ice Origin's face was filled with fear and confusion. This was a rank 9 ancient god of the Blazing Gold race, and there was another peak rank 8. Their side had no chance of victory. Ancient God Ice Origin had a sliver of talent, and he had a chance of becoming a god lord in the future. He did not want to lose his life here. In addition, Ancient God Ice Origin had no intention of self-detonating, but if he fell into Ancient God Darkrow's hands, just the thought of what would happen next made his hair stand on end. At this moment, Zhao Feng walked out of the palace. Ancient God Blue Distance stared blankly at Zhao Feng. Although Zhao Feng had just arrived, Ancient God Blue Distance had no plans of having Zhao Feng enter the battlefield. He planned on letting him rest for a while before assigning him a few simple missions to keep Zhao Feng as far away as possible. Now that Zhao Feng had appeared, he remembered that Zhao Feng was a peak rank 8 ancient god and could be of use. Zhao Feng, hurry up and block the enemy's attack. Ancient God Blue Distance immediately said, outside the protective barrier. Why is there another peak 8th order? The middle-aged man was slightly surprised. The Celestial Net sect previously only had one peak rank 8 ancient god Blue Distance. Although they had one more person with a rank 9 ancient god on their side, the Celestial Net sect still had no chance of winning. This kid, Zhao Feng. Ancient God Darkrow's eyes flashed as he stared at Zhao Feng. For some reason, when Ancient God Darkrow saw Zhao Feng's confident face, he felt an inexplicable unease. Quickly break the array. Ancient God Darkrow bellowed. Swish! At the same time, a black spear appeared in his hand, exuding a tyrannical black flame that fused with the brown flames on Ancient God Darkrow's body. Break! Ancient God Darkrow waved the spear in his hand, gathering up scorching and tyrannical flames as he thrust it forward. Roar! A dark brown dragon that was 1,000 feet long roared ferociously, shaking the heavens and the earth. The dark brown dragon and the fierce attacks of the Blazing Gold race members descended upon the Celestial Net sect's protective barrier. Crack! The protective barrier immediately shattered. Everyone inside the barrier had a grave and worried look on their faces. Zhao Feng, why didn't you attack a moment ago? Are you trying to harm us? Ancient God Blue Distance immediately bellowed as he coldly glared at Zhao Feng. Kikidai. Ancient God Darkrow gripped his black spear, wreathed in dark brown flames as he charged at Ancient God Blue Distance and Zhao Feng. Celestial Net Sect Master, hurry and activate the sect protecting array. Ancient God Blue Distance grimaced as he called out. The ground behind Ancient God Blue Distance suddenly surged with countless strands of divine blue light. This divine light twisted and turned in the air, condensing into a massive blue dragon with heaven-shaking momentum. At the same time, Ancient God Blue Distance spread open his arms, unleashing countless streams of crystalline light that transformed into an ice storm that swept forward. Boom! The blue dragon and the ice storm both attacked Ancient God Darkrow. Kiki, all of you underestimate this old man too much. Ancient God Darkrow's spear flew through the air, unleashing one dark brown flame after another. Boom! Bang! Crash! The ice storm unleashed by Ancient God Blue Distance was quickly destroyed. Meanwhile, the blue dragon created by the Celestial Net Sect Master and the other upper echelon members was forced back again and again. Bzzz. The divine power in Zhao Feng's body surged as he prepared to strike. Zhao Feng, you deal with the peak rank 8. The Celestial Net Sect Master, and I will hold down the rank 9 ancient god. Ancient God Blue Distance ordered. Zhao Feng nodded and looked at the giant middle-aged man on the other side. The giant man was currently fighting with a rank 8 and a peak rank 7 Celestial Net Sect Elder. Haha, die for me. The giant man suddenly activated his bloodline energy. Boom! Shio! Swoosh! His entire body became crystalline and extremely tough, and the golden tattoos on his body glimmered as he unleashed a scorching flame. In an instant, the peak rank 7 Tian Luo sect elder was sent flying and spat out a mouthful of blood. Shattering flame fist. The giant man stared at the rank 8 elder and brought his fists together, condensing a destructive ball of flame energy that he fired. Boom! A fireball that was as hot as magma came crashing down on them. The rank 8 elder's face was ghastly pale. He swung his sword and unleashed several powerful attacks, but they were all pulverized by the ball of flame. The ball of flame was about to crush him. Suddenly, a dreamy silver figure appeared in front of the rank 8 elder. Bzzz. Zhao Feng gathered chaos origin divine power in his right hand and punched. A dark silver fist of energy, suffused with a strange devouring force field, collided with the ball of flame. Boom! Bang! The ball of flame shattered, and the dark silver fist devoured some of the flame energy before continuing forward. How could this be? The giant man grimaced. Both of them were rank 8 ancient gods, but his supreme technique had been crushed by Zhao Feng. Boom! The middle-aged giant punched out several more times, shattering the murky silver fists. You're Zhao Feng? The giant man stared in disbelief at Zhao Feng. As a member of the Blazing Gold race, he naturally knew about Zhao Feng's situation. Based on what he knew, when Zhao Feng disappeared, he was only a rank 7 ancient god, but now that he had reappeared, he was at the peak of rank 8. He originally believed that Zhao Feng was in a hurry to increase his cultivation and that he wasn't that strong. But this was not the case. On the other side, ancient god Blue Distance and the Celestial Net Sect Master were once more pushed back by ancient god Dark Crow. Zhao Feng seems to have the upper hand. Ancient god Blue Distance happened to catch a glimpse of the giant man hurriedly shattering Zhao Feng's attack. That was Chaos Origin Divine Power. The spiritual race did not have many techniques for the ancient gods to cultivate. From Zhao Feng's divine power attacks and combat skills, ancient god Blue Distance was able to deduce what technique Zhao Feng cultivated, the Chaos Heaven Void Origin technique. The power of this technique was determined by the number of intents one had and how strong they were. However, a normal person would find it extremely difficult to cultivate even one intent to the same level as their cultivation. So how could they possibly have the time to cultivate other intents? Moreover, fusing all the intents into one was also a difficult task. But the Chaos Origin Divine Power Zhao Feng displayed just now far surpassed peak rank 8 and possessed extraordinary power. Kiki, you actually have the time to look elsewhere while fighting this old man? Ancient god Dark Crow savagely laughed, his blazing body approaching ancient god Blue Distance like a bolt of lightning. Dark flames destroying the heavens. Ancient god Dark Crow swept his spear through the air. Boom! Swoosh! Layers of dark brown flames transformed into waves of fire that surged toward ancient god Blue Distance. Oh no! Ancient god Blue Distance's face turned grave as he burned his divine power and used a secret art to condense a translucent crystalline barrier. Cackrack! The surging flaming streamers came one after another, as if there was no end to them. They continuously bombarded the crystalline light shield. On the fourth wave, ancient god Blue Distance's defensive secret art shattered. Cackrack! His body flew backward and crashed into the buildings behind him. Ancient god Blue Distance. The Celestial Net Sect Master was worried. As a member of the Blazing Gold race, ancient god Dark Crow had an extremely formidable defense. Just now, he ignored the blue dragon and fiercely attacked ancient god Blue Distance, instantly defeating him. Whoosh! A white crystalline light shot out of the rubble, passed by ancient god Ice Origin, and was taken into a special dimension. Ancient god Blue Distance's body flickered with white light as he exploded with speed comparable to a rank 9 ancient god and fled into the distance. This sight left both the Celestial Net sect and the Blazing Gold race instantly dumbfounded. The strongest expert of the Celestial Net sect, ancient god Blue Distance, had taken his son and fled. No! The Celestial Net sect master roared in despair. The other members of the Celestial Net sect instantly lost all will to fight and stood in a daze. Haha, your commander abandoned you and ran. That's how the spiritual race does things. Ancient god Darkcrow heartily laughed. Zhao Feng was rather speechless as he watched ancient god Blue Distance flee. He could only use the divine power of a peak rank 8, but before he could even kill an enemy peak rank 8, ancient god Blue Distance had already fled. Zhao Feng, you have no chance of victory. Why don't you join the Blazing Gold race? In any case, you don't have the spiritual race bloodline to begin with. Once the Blazing Gold race defeats the spiritual race, Zhao Yufei will still be yours. Ancient god Darkcrow stared at Zhao Feng and wickedly smiled. Although he had felt an inexplicable unease when he saw Zhao Feng, ancient god Blue Distance had fled. But now, ancient god Blue Distance had fled. Even if Zhao Feng's strength far surpassed that of a peak rank 8, it was useless. Is that so? Zhao Feng faintly smiled, his expression indifferent. This was his first battle, and Zhao Feng did not want to lose. Elder, capture him first. After you torture him for a while, he'll naturally submit. The giant man savagely smiled as he circulated his divine power and charged forward. Impudent, Zhao Feng's eyes froze for a moment, and then he began to unleash space-time intent. Swish! His figure disappeared from where he was and appeared directly behind the middle-aged giant. Spatial blink. The giant man didn't care. He activated his powerful body and prepared for close combat. Swoosh! A massive sword of dark silver condensed in Zhao Feng's hand and pierced through the giant man's body. How could this be? The middle-aged man was shocked. His defensive body had been pierced through by Zhao Feng. The giant man wanted to struggle free, but he felt like his every movement was extremely slow. Moreover, the divine power in his body was in chaos and was rapidly draining away, leaving him powerless to resist. Chapter 1409. How could this be? The middle-aged giant let out a blood-curdling scream. As a member of the Blazing Gold race, how could someone of the same level so easily pierce through his defensive body? Moreover, the divine power in his body was in chaos and rapidly draining away. His every movement was slowed down, and he was powerless to resist. Swish! 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 Zhao Feng's Chaos Origin Divine sword cut through the giant man's body and then slashed back and forth. Devour! Absorb! Not only did the Chaos Origin Divine sword in Zhao Feng's hand not weaken, it actually swelled in power. The terrifying force field tore apart the giant man, obliterating him along with his soul. This sudden development instantly shattered the mood and stunned everyone. The despairing Celestial Net sect master and the members of the Celestial Net sect stared at Zhao Feng. That peak rank 8 was killed by Zhao Feng. The Celestial Net sect master said in a daze. He had never imagined that such a thing would happen after ancient god Blue Distance escaped. What's going on? How could a peak rank 8 of the Blazing Gold race be suddenly killed by Zhao Feng? The other members of the Celestial Net sect found it rather difficult to understand what had happened. Logically speaking, killing someone of the same level was extremely difficult, but Zhao Feng had done it with extreme ease. Kid, you killed him. Ancient god Darkcrow finally reacted, his face enraged and his eyes brimming with killing intent. What was supposed to be a major victory had suddenly been the loss of a peak rank 8, and the giant man had been killed right in front of his eyes. Although a peak rank 8 was killed, they still have a rank 9 ancient god. The Celestial Net sect master turned to ancient god Darkcrow, his expression darkening. If ancient god Blue Distance had not escaped, the three of them working together might have been able to push back ancient god Darkcrow. You came here to die, so why shouldn't I kill you? Zhao Feng faintly smiled at ancient god Darkcrow. Junior, If you act so arrogantly, you will die a very miserable death. Ancient God Darkrow's eyes focused as he stared at Zhao Feng. In his opinion, what had happened just now was mainly due to the middle-aged man's carelessness and Zhao Feng's sneak attack. And he, Ancient God Darkrow, would not take his enemies lightly. Whoosh! In a flash, Ancient God Darkrow approached Zhao Feng and thrust his spear forward. A dark brown domineering flame was instantly spat out. Moreover, the dark brown flames contained chaotic spatial energy mixed within them, causing an expanse of space to be thrown into disorder, causing Zhao Feng to be unable to teleport. Xiao! Countless streaks of golden light surged from Zhao Feng's body, leaving behind a dazzling golden light as he fled into the distance. The dark brown flame pierced through the afterimage left behind by Zhao Feng and bombarded the ground, instantly forming a huge scorch pit that was more than 100 feet wide. After missing his attack, Ancient God Darkrow immediately pursued, his spear thrusting again and again. Dark brown flames flashed through the darkness, causing everyone on both sides to back up in fear. But Zhao Feng continued to move through the sky of attacks, occasionally swinging the Chaos Origin divine sword in his hand to take the lives of several enemies with ease. This kid, even without using spatial blink, he's still very fast. Ancient God Darkrow's expression darkened. Even though he was a rank 9 Ancient God, he was still far inferior to Zhao Feng in terms of speed. At this moment, Zhao Feng seemed to ignore Ancient God Darkrow's existence as he slaughtered the members of the Blazing Gold race to his heart's content. Good. I didn't think that Zhao Feng would be so fast. The Celestial Net Sect Master's face trembled as if he had seen hope. All the members of the Celestial Net Sect saw this and rallied to attack. Screams rang out in the sky above the Celestial Net Sect. Every time the faint golden streak of light passed through the air, it would reap 1 or 2 lives, accompanied by a shower of blood. Coupled with the attacks of the Celestial Net Sect members, the Blazing Gold race's casualties soared. Even the usually calm and composed Ancient God Darkrow was enraged and stamping with rage. At this moment, he could only watch as Zhao Feng harvested his subordinates one by one. To his helplessness, Zhao Feng seemed to be intentionally toying with him. Every time he was about to catch up, Zhao Feng would suddenly increase his speed and flee. Although Zhao Feng's cultivation was sealed at the peak of rank 8, he still had his profound skills and understanding. If not for the fact that he didn't want to appear too shocking, Ancient God Darkrow would have already been easily killed, let alone getting close to him. Kill every last member of the Blazing Gold race. The Celestial Net Sect Master and many other upper echelon members followed Zhao Feng, their blood boiling as they fought. The Blazing Gold race was an enemy that had invaded their sect and killed their fellow disciples. Moreover, killing members of the Blazing Gold race was rewarded with contribution points, which could be exchanged for many rare treasures that were normally difficult to obtain. With Zhao Feng leading the charge, the Celestial Net Sect was able to instantly reverse the situation. Not long after, most of the Blazing Gold race members led by Ancient God Darkrow were killed. Quite a few members had fled in panic. I didn't think that Zhao Feng would be so fast. Even a rank 9 Ancient God would be left in the dust. The Celestial Net Sect Master gazed at that faint golden figure, his eyes filled with reverence. It was precisely because Zhao Feng had the advantage in speed that Ancient God Darkrow could do nothing about it, allowing the Celestial Net Sect to miraculously turn defeat into victory. Defeated. Ancient God Darkrow had an extremely nasty grimace. He had never imagined that the battle would end up like this. At this moment, the subordinates he led were only a few weak true gods and 1 rank 7 Ancient God. As for the Celestial Net Sect members, their losses were so minuscule that they were almost negligible. Surround and kill the Blazing Gold race. Zhao Feng immediately bellowed. In a flash, the Celestial Net Sect Ancient God experts charged forward. The ordinary true gods of the Celestial Net Sect began to lay down arrays or reactivate defensive arrays. As for the Celestial Net Sect Master, he took control of the Sect Protecting Array and the light blue water spirit dragon, which he directed toward ancient God Darkrow. All of you just wait. Next time, this old man will wash the Celestial Net Sect in blood. Ancient God Darkrow roared in his hoarse voice, his mind seething with loathing. Swish! Ancient God Darkrow led the remaining members of his group in fleeing. Did I say that I would let you go? At this moment, Zhao Feng suddenly appeared in front of ancient God Darkrow, a faint smile on his face as he looked down on ancient God Darkrow's group. Junior, if this old man wants to leave, you can't stop me. Ancient God Darkrow called out. In his view, Zhao Feng was only fast. In terms of strength, there was still a gap between him and a rank 9 ancient god. Then let's try. A playful smile appeared on Zhao Feng's lips as he blinked toward ancient God Darkrow. Whoosh! A turbid dark silver chaos origin divine power rapidly condensed into a longsword that pierced forward. Bang! Ancient God Darkrow swept out with his spear, and after exchanging a few blows in the air, they separated once more. Ancient God Darkrow was alarmed as he scanned the wounds on his body. Although they were very small, they had managed to break through the defenses of his physical body. At the same time, he sensed that Zhao Feng had drained a significant amount of energy from his body. The Chaos Origin Divine Sword in Zhao Feng's hand began to ripple with abnormally powerful ripples of energy, making it seem even more powerful than before. How could this be? Ancient God Darkrow was alarmed. Zhao Feng had been able to easily break through the defenses of his rank 9 ancient god body. Boom! At the same time, the Celestial Net Sect Master and the other ancient gods of the Celestial Net Sect began to attack. For a moment, ancient God Darkrow was surrounded. Damn! Ancient God Darkrow grimaced in distress. Just when he was preparing to use his life-saving techniques, suddenly, a strange ripple of energy appeared behind him. A moment later, a dark silver sword stabbed out of his chest, carrying with it a large amount of golden red blood. Boom! A chaotic and powerful energy immediately engulfed ancient God Darkrow's body. This destructive power made ancient God Darkrow instantly feel like death was upon him. This is impossible. Your strength. Ancient God Darkrow was flabbergasted. Not even a rank 9 ancient god could compare to the strength Zhao Feng displayed at this moment. That profound movement technique, intent, powerful combat skill, divine power, and intent energy were not things a peak rank 8 ancient god could possess. But ancient God Darkrow, who knew all this, did not have a chance to say it. Swoosh! With a swing of his sword, Zhao Feng cleaved ancient God Darkrow in two. Dead. All the members of the Celestial Net Sect were stunned. Although ancient God Darkrow was in a predicament, he wasn't seriously injured and probably still had some trump cards that he hadn't used yet. But a moment later, ancient God Darkrow was killed by Zhao Feng. Killed in one blow. The Celestial Net Sect Master was stunned. Ancient God Darkrow, thank you for your divine power. It has greatly increased the power of my Chaos Origin divine power. Zhao Feng faintly smiled. So Lord Zhao Feng's divine power is actually this formidable. He can absorb the divine power of others to increase his own power. Lord Zhao Feng truly deserves to be called a peerless genius of the spiritual race. The majority of the Celestial Net Sect members looked at Zhao Feng with reverent gazes, and quite a few of the female disciples viewed Zhao Feng as the perfect man in their hearts. From a very start, Zhao Feng's Chaos Origin divine power had been constantly strengthening, and after absorbing ancient God Darkrow's energy, his divine power attacks had gotten even stronger. With the combined attacks of the Celestial Net Sect members, Zhao Feng was able to charge up his energy and launch a sudden attack that killed ancient God Darkrow. There didn't seem to be much of a problem, but only the Celestial Net Sect Master felt that something was very strange. When he looked at Zhao Feng, he suddenly felt that this youth was like a vast galaxy, mysterious and unfathomable. It was all thanks to the cooperation of the members of the Celestial Net sect that we were able to smoothly defeat the blazing gold race this time. Zhao Feng turned to the members of the Celestial Net sect and smiled. Once the battle was over, the Celestial Net sect began to get busy, calculating the casualties and rebuilding the sect. Zhao Feng returned to his palace and entered seclusion. There was no need to be too dazzling on his first battle. The war was still very long, and he needed to slowly reveal his strength until he revealed his true cultivation and strength so that no one would suspect him. Moreover, suppressing his cultivation to fight was also a form of tempering for Zhao Feng. On the morning of the next day, the Celestial Net sect was still busy. Suddenly, 2 streaks of white light descended. The Celestial Net sect master and a few members focused their eyes and saw that it was Ancient God Blue Distance and Ancient God Ice Origin. Ancient God Blue Distance steeled himself and slowly descended upon the Celestial Net sect. Next to him, Ancient God Ice Origin's handsome face was red from embarrassment. I was planning to go get reinforcements last night, but I didn't think that you would be able to escape. Ancient God Blue Distance had an extremely unnatural expression as he awkwardly said. In truth, Ancient God Blue Distance and Ancient God Ice Origin had not fled very far. Thus, they were the first to learn that the Celestial Net sect had driven back the Blazing Gold Race members. Thank you for your concern, Ancient God Blue Distance. The Celestial Net sect master was neither cold nor indifferent. After all, Ancient God Blue Distance was a peak rank 8 ancient god of the spiritual race. Their relationship was complicated, and he did not dare to offend him. But inside, the Celestial Net sect master snorted in disdain. Is there a need to bring your son along to get reinforcements? The Celestial Net sect disciples all had looks of disdain, but they said nothing. At this moment, Zhao Feng walked out, a faint smile on his face as he looked at the father and son who had fled. Zhao Feng, tell me, how did you manage to escape yesterday and repel the blazing gold race? Ancient God Blue Distance's eyes focused on Zhao Feng as he asked this question. Chapter 14:10. Zhao Feng, tell me, how did you manage to avert disaster and repel the blazing gold race yesterday? Ancient God Blue Distance's eyes focused on Zhao Feng as he asked this question. Last night, they were obviously going to lose. As the commander, he had left. Tian Luo's sect did not even have a shred of hope. But the result was completely unexpected. The Celestial Net sect had not only survived, but it had also defeated the Blazing Gold Race. And it was said that the Blazing Gold Race had suffered grievous losses. The members of the Tian Luo sect could not help but chuckle when they saw this. Ancient God Blue Distance and his son had escaped, and the one who had saved the Celestial Net sect was naturally Zhao Feng. Now that Ancient God Blue Distance and his son had the face to return, they couldn't help but admire them. They had even taken the initiative to ask about Zhao Feng. Last night, God Blue Distance, you want to get reinforcements. When the Blazing Gold Race saw that you were gone, they let down their guard. That peak rank 8 ancient god was caught off guard and killed by me. Zhao Feng said directly. Strange expressions appeared on the faces of the Celestial Net sect members. There was nothing wrong with what Zhao Feng had said, but it sounded as if he was praising Ancient Blue Distance. But to Ancient God Blue Distance, this sort of praise was more like an insult. You killed that peak rank 8 ancient god. However, Ancient God Blue Distance paid more attention to that last sentence, and he stared in shock at Zhao Feng. Although he had witnessed Zhao Feng's attack last night and felt that Zhao Feng's strength was indeed not bad, directly killing a peak rank 8 was out of his expectations. Ancient God Ice Origin was even more shocked. Zhao Feng could kill a peak rank 8? Yes, after Ancient God Blue Distance left, that giant middle-aged man didn't think much of me, leading to this result. The members of the Celestial Net sect also did their best to resist and contend with the Blazing Gold Race. In the end, by relying on the defensive array and the geographical advantage, we worked together to kill Ancient God Dark Crow. Zhao Feng continued. Ancient God Blue Distance was still skeptical of the first few words. But when he heard that Ancient God Dark Crow had been killed, he was struck dumb. What are you talking about? It's all because of you, Zhao Feng, who is so brave and has turned the tide. Tian Luo sect master said with a smile. When Zhao Feng explained everything, he tried his best to reduce his contribution and praise them. The rest of the Tian Luo sect senior officials were also embarrassed by Zhao Feng's words. The Celestial Net sect's favorable impression of Zhao Feng multiplied. Zhao Feng was powerful, responsible, and humble. Compared to ancient God Blue Distance and his son, the difference was like heaven and earth. Ancient God Darkrow is dead. Ancient God Blue Distance and his son froze, their minds blank. There must be something fishy going on here. Ancient God Blue Distance's expression darkened. How could a mighty rank 9 ancient god die here? Based on his speculations, ancient God Darkrow might not have died and escaped with heavy injuries, or the spiritual race might have arrived to rescue the Heavenly Net sect. As for the Tian Luo sect, they were dissatisfied with his desertion, so they fabricated a lie to provoke him. At this moment, ancient God Blue Distance had lost his prestige and trust in the Celestial Net sect. He knew that even if he continued to ask, he wouldn't get anything out of him. Unfortunately, the Tian Luo sect seemed to be on good terms with Zhao Feng. This kid is not simple. Ancient God Blue Distance stared at Zhao Feng as he pondered. To be able to kill a peak rank 8 meant that he had the strength of an ordinary rank 9 ancient god. Moreover, he sensed that Zhao Feng had played an important role in the Celestial Net sect's reversal of defeat. But ancient God Blue Distance was still the commander of this place, and Zhao Feng still had to listen to his orders. It's fine as long as everyone is fine. I will continue to lead everyone to protect the Celestial Net sect, kill the blazing gold race, and make our name throughout the Xiling Zone. Ancient God Blue Distance loudly said. Ancient God Blue Distance brought Ancient God Ice Origin back to the Celestial Net sect. In the room, Father, why did we come back? Ancient God Ice Origin felt extremely ashamed. He was a genius of the spiritual race. And when had he ever done something so shameful? After deserting, he shamelessly came back. If the Tian Luo sect had been annihilated, it wouldn't be a big deal for us to have escaped with our lives. However, if the Tian Luo sect were to remain unscathed, how would we be able to face the spirit tribe in the future? I've come back to suppress this matter. Ancient God Blue Distance immediately said. Ancient God Ice Origin nodded. His father was right. He had only lost face in front of the Celestial Net sect, but if he were to lose face in front of the entire spiritual race, his brilliance would be ruined. In addition, the blazing gold race's ambush this time failed, so they definitely won't attack this place for some time. This way, we can rest easy, and we'll even get a lot of contribution points. Ancient God Blue Distance gave a cunning smile. Father is right. Ancient God Ice Origin also smiled. As members of the spiritual race, they only needed to guard certain factions or strongholds to obtain contribution points. If they had time, they could go and reinforce nearby factions and kill enemies, earning contribution points as well. Outside the Celestial Net sect, Brother Zhao, why don't you tell us the truth? I feel that you're more suited to the position of commander. The Celestial Net sect master whispered. The perilous situation last night had caused the Celestial Net sect master to forget his unhappiness, but he hadn't expected for ancient God Blue Distance and his son to shamelessly return. Although Zhao Feng was young, he was powerful, responsible to the Celestial Net sect, and had a humble personality. He was confident that no one would object if he took the position of commander. I also don't like being a commander. It's too troublesome. Zhao Feng chuckled as he walked into his palace. Zhao Feng didn't care about the fame and benefits at the moment, so he couldn't be bothered to care. He just wanted to stay on the battlefield and temper himself so that he could gradually display his true cultivation. This kid is truly broad-minded and cares about the big picture. He knows that in this war between the two races, if the spiritual race were to fight to the death. The Celestial Net sect master looked at Zhao Feng's back, somewhat ashamed. After returning to his residence, Zhao Feng entered the space-time robe. At this moment, Zhao Wang, Zhao Kong, and the Black Serpent Dragon were all quietly cultivating. Zhao Kong had long ago succeeded in reaching rank 9 and had also smoothly grasped his powerful eyes of space-time. Zhao Feng also seated himself cross-legged on the ground and began to cultivate. He first divided a part of his mind to cultivate space-time, 5 elements, and other intents. As these intents grew stronger, the power of Zhao Feng's Chaos Origin Divine Power increased. Because he had consumed many precious time-type resources, Zhao Feng's ability to comprehend time intent had greatly increased. Coupled with the help of the ancestral artifact fragment, Zhao Feng's time intent had advanced the fastest, reaching the peak of rank 7. As for Zhao Feng, his space intent was on the verge of reaching the peak of rank 8, just lacking a little more. Zhao Feng was in no rush to increase his strength, choosing to take things one step at a time. Apart from strength, Zhao Feng's focus was also on the soul. The advantage of the god's spiritual eye allowed Zhao Feng's soul to grow stronger, far surpassing that of an ordinary person. The soul was Zhao Feng's greatest advantage. My soul intent is now at the peak of rank 9. If I can advance another level, dealing with half-step god lords will be even easier. Zhao Feng's mind was filled with anticipation. After taking a few lightning soul crystals, he began to refine his soul and increase the lightning energy in his lightning soul body. Within the space-time robe, 30 days later, Zhao Feng finished absorbing the effects of the lightning soul crystals and the soul resources. And then, Zhao Feng turned his eyes to the other combat skill of the 4th level of the Chaos Heaven Void Origin technique, the Chaos Heaven Void Ring. In contrast to the Chaos Origin Divine Sword, the Chaos Heaven Void Ring was a defense-type combat skill. The Chaos Heaven Void Ring not only had outstanding defensive properties, but it also had another special characteristic. Its devouring ability was even stronger. It could absorb the energy of the surrounding attacks and transform it into its own energy. This Chaos Heaven Void Ring is more suited for group battles. It can instantly transform the energy of the surrounding attacks into my own energy to strengthen the Chaos Origin Divine Sword and deliver a fatal blow to the enemy. Moreover, in the midst of war, the battles were rather chaotic, and Zhao Feng's body-refining advantage no longer existed. Thus, the Chaos Heaven Void Ring was extremely suitable for cultivating. With this decision made, Zhao Feng began to cultivate. Within the space-time robe, several days later, a turbid silver barrier of chaotic light appeared around Zhao Feng, suffused with a devouring field that absorbed the invisible energy of the world. Buzz. BZZ. The turbid silver barrier of light became even more solid. Not bad. It can absorb other energy to strengthen one's defense. Moreover, the Chaos Heaven Void Ring could be transformed into a Chaos Origin Divine Sword, making it even stronger. The flow of time within the space-time robe was now 51. 2 days passed in the outside world, but Zhao Feng had cultivated for 100 days in the space-time robe. On the night of the 2nd day, swish, swish, several obscure energies entered the territory of the Celestial Net sect. Based on the reports, after Zhao Feng entered the war zone, he went to the Celestial Net sect. Do we really need to be so sneaky? Can't we just attack this place and capture Zhao Feng? 4 figures flickered in and out of sight in the air. Their auras were obscured, fused with the darkness, and almost undetectable. Powerful divine senses would sweep over the Celestial Net sect from time to time, but no one noticed. I heard that the Blazing Gold race sent a rank 9 ancient god to attack this place. But the fact that the Celestial Net sect is still here means that the rank 9 ancient god failed. So the Celestial Net sect is rather difficult to deal with. One of them, a skinny, pitch-black old man, said, "That's right. Ancient god Ice Flame only ordered us to capture Zhao Feng. There's no need to complicate the issue," a tall and muscular man said, his eyes cold and vicious. Although he could suppress it, his body still exuded a few wisps of flame. The news of ancient god Darkrow attacking the Celestial Net sect had only been spread a few days ago, so only a few people knew the specifics of the battle. This group had been ordered by ancient god Iceflame. The moment they learned of Zhao Feng's position, they had set off. "I've found that brat's position. In a little while, I'll launch a sneak attack. The rest of you will immediately suppress him and then escape." The thin and shadowy elder stealthily walked at the very front. They were extremely confident in Ancient God Shadow Death's abilities. Ancient God Shadow Death was a rank 9 ancient god that ancient god Iceflame had befriended during her travels. He was skilled in tracking and assassination. It was rumored that the blood of the 18th ancient race, the Shadow race, flowed through ancient god Shadow Death's body. Although the bloodline was thin, it was enough for him to wander the darkness and kill without leaving a trace. The group silently approached Zhao Feng's residence. "Get ready," ancient god Shadow Death called out, transforming into a pitch-black stream that prepared to attack the air and force Zhao Feng to appear. Swish! Before ancient god Shadow Death could attack, a silver-haired youth suddenly appeared in the hall, his face indifferent. "You've been dawdling here for so long. Were you looking for this Zhao?" Chapter 14:11. Ancient God Shadow Death and the others were already prepared. The moment they forced Zhao Feng out, they swarmed forward to restrain him. But none of them had expected that before they could move, Zhao Feng would appear. This sight left everyone frozen to the spot. "You've been dawdling for so long. Were you looking for this Zhao?" Zhao Feng indifferently scanned the 4 people around him. Of the 4, the pitch-black elder and the black-clothed man were both rank 9 ancient gods. The black-clothed man was clearly a member of the Blazing Gold race. The elder's body was like a shadow, fusing into the darkness. If one didn't look carefully, it would be impossible to detect him. This bloodline was completely identical to the Shadow race, the 18th ranked of the 10,000 ancient races. The other black-armored elder and the golden-masked youth were both peak rank 8s. "He noticed us ahead of time?" The middle-aged man's eyes flashed with cold light. "No, he noticed us the moment we came in." Ancient God Shadow Death messaged. In his career as an assassin, he had never encountered something like this. He was assassinating someone with a lower cultivation level than him, but before he could even attack, he was noticed by his opponent. From Zhao Feng's words, it was obvious that he had noticed them long ago. "Hurry and restrain him, then leave." The black-armored elder immediately called out. Ancient God Shadow Death was taken aback. This calm and composed youth who had suddenly appeared gave him the feeling that he couldn't see through him at all. But there were 4 of them, 2 rank 9 ancient gods and 2 peak rank 8s. If they were afraid of Zhao Feng with such a lineup, they would laugh themselves to death. Swish! A gray saber appeared in ancient God Shadow Death's hand. Wisps of black energy slowly surged out of his body and wrapped around the gray saber. In a flash, the gray saber seemed to fuse with the darkness, transforming into an invisible blade that was almost undetectable. Swoosh! Ancient God Shadow Death's body did not move, but a slender stream of black energy extended from his hand, controlling the invisible blade to stab at Zhao Feng. On the other end, the black-clothed man's fists clashed, exploding with golden flames. Rumble! The black-clothed man punched out, and a ring-shaped flame shockwave pushed forward, destroying everything in its path. The other 2 peak rank 8 divine weapons also took out high-grade divine weapons and unleashed a powerful attack. At this moment, the powerful attacks of 2 rank 9 ancient gods and 2 peak rank 8s rumbled toward Zhao Feng. "I'll use you guys to test out my new combat skill." Within a certain range around Zhao Feng, his chaos divine power suddenly surged, instantly forming a circular protective barrier. Turbid silver streams flowed back and forth across it. Before the attacks from the 4 of them could land, a powerful devouring power appeared on the dim silver halo. It devoured other powers to strengthen itself. As the attacks of the 4 approached, the devouring power grew stronger and stronger. Boom! After their energy was devoured, the attacks of the two peak Type 8 experts and the Black-Robe Man were greatly weakened. When they landed on the dark silver halo, they dissipated without much effect. How is this possible? Our divine power attacks seem to have weakened when we get close to that kid. The black-clothed man was taken aback. Only ancient god Shadow Death's attack, condensed within the divine artifact, was able to pierce through the silver halo's defensive barrier. Buzz. BZZ. But at this moment, the silver halo began to flow, condensing into a Chaos Origin Divine sword in Zhao Feng's hand. This Chaos Origin Divine sword had just absorbed the attacks of the four and was extremely powerful. Clink-clang. Zhao Feng fiercely swung the sword, sending the invisible shadow blade flying. At the same time, Zhao Feng threw out the Chaos Origin Divine Sword. Its target was none other than the pitch-black Ancient God Shadow Death. Oh no! Ancient God Shadow Death's eyes flashed. This sword flew far too fast. He had not expected for Zhao Feng to counterattack in this situation. Buzz. BZZ. Ancient God Shadow Death's pitch-black body began to surge with strange black flows. At this moment, the Chaos Origin Divine Sword stabbed into his chest, but it passed right through. Ancient God Shadow Death's body rippled with black flows, and then he returned to normal, but his face was still somewhat pale. This kid's divine power attacks are rather unique. After I turned into my shadow body, when it passed through my body, it was still able to absorb some of my energy. Ancient God Shadow Death looked at Zhao Feng with a hint of seriousness in his eyes. With a slight movement of his finger, a pitch-black line retracted, and the invisible dagger returned to his hand. The other three had rather dazed looks in their eyes. Despite being surrounded by the four of them, Zhao Feng was completely unharmed and was even able to attack Ancient God Shadow Death. Not bad. The Chaos Origin Void Ring has only just formed, but it already possesses such power. Zhao Feng faintly smiled, rather satisfied. After saying this, Zhao Feng's body flickered as he flew away. At the same time, powerful figures of the Celestial Net sect began to approach Zhao Feng's residence. Enemy attack. The Celestial Net sect master scanned the area with his divine sense and grimaced. He hadn't expected for these four enemies to sneak in without them noticing. Part of the reason was that they had just fought a few days ago, so the defensive and sensory barriers had not been completely repaired. Are you okay, Zhao Feng? The Celestial Net sect master immediately asked. At this moment, Ancient God Blue Distance and his son arrived. The Blazing Gold race just suffered a defeat, so why are they sending people again so quickly? Ancient God Blue Distance was rather annoyed. As he scanned the area with his divine sense, his eyes widened in shock and his body trembled. 2 rank 9 Ancient Gods. Ancient God Blue Distance's heart began to thump. Ancient God Ice Origin's face instantly paled. Down below, what do we do? The black-clothed man asked. Now that they had been completely exposed, their plan had failed. Capture Zhao Feng first. If we can't capture him, kill him, but this can only be done if there's no danger. Ancient God Shadow Death messaged. What danger could there be? There are only 2 peak rank 8s. The black-armored elder faintly smiled. In a flash, the divine power in the bodies of the 4 members sent by the blazing gold race surged, their powerful auras surging out. Commander, what should we do? Zhao Feng immediately asked. Although there were only 4 of them, their cultivations far surpassed the Celestial Net sects, and they had no intention of running. Ancient God Blue Distance had a complicated expression on his face and said nothing. Zhao Feng chuckled and straightforwardly said, Ancient God Blue Distance, why don't you go get more reinforcements? At the end, Zhao Feng placed great emphasis on the words get reinforcements. You, Ancient God Blue Distance grimaced as he stared at Zhao Feng in rage, but he couldn't say a single word. Ancient God Ice Origin thought back to what had happened and blushed. Focus on defense. If you're no match, fight and retreat. Ancient God Blue Distance messaged all his members. Last time, he had become a deserter, losing both face and prestige. He had returned to prevent this matter from getting out, so that he could reconstruct his image. This time, unless it was absolutely necessary, ancient god Blue Distance would not just run away. Zhao Feng, you killed a rank 8 before, so you should be fairly strong. You will be responsible for holding down the rank 9 ancient god of the blazing gold race. Ancient god Blue Distance immediately ordered. In his view, ancient god Shadow Death was injured and should be a little weaker. Thus, he left the other rank 9 ancient god for Zhao Feng to deal with. Celestial Net Sect Master. Activate the sect protecting array. Let's work together to deal with that emaciated old man. Ancient god Blue Distance ordered the Celestial Net Sect Master. With him and the Celestial Net Sect Master working together, it should be much easier for them to deal with an injured rank 9 ancient god. Once Zhao Feng's side failed, they would retreat. When the time came, they would place all the blame on Zhao Feng. This way, they could both destroy Zhao Feng and escape without anyone gossiping about them. But the Celestial Net Sect Master wanted to say something, but he stopped himself. Although ancient god Blue Distance was clearly targeting Zhao Feng, when he thought about how mysterious and unfathomable Zhao Feng was and how he had killed a rank 9 ancient god before, there shouldn't be much of a problem. Leave this brat to me. Once I succeed, we'll retreat. The blazing gold race man's eyes gleamed with a cold light. Kaboom! His body immediately began to blaze with golden flames, and he charged at Zhao Feng like a blazing sun in the dark night. Swish! Zhao Feng appeared behind the black-robed man and slashed with the Chaos Origin Divine Sword. Die! The black-clothed man showed no fear. After activating his powerful body and using a defensive skill, he thrust both hands at Zhao Feng. Swish! Swish! Zhao Feng's sword instantly pierced through the man's defenses and slashed at his body, sending off a shower of sparks. Zhao Feng easily dodged the black-clothed man's attack. This brat has a very powerful attack. The black-clothed man angrily touched his wound. In their first clash, Zhao Feng had been completely uninjured, but he, a body-refining expert, had been injured. Kaboom! The black-clothed man activated his bloodline, and the golden flames on his body grew even brighter and more oppressive. If a normal person were to approach, they would be immobilized by this powerful bloodline pressure. If this brat gets any closer, he's finished. The black-clothed man charged at Zhao Feng once more, punching out with both fists. Fiery fists exploded in the air. If Zhao Feng got any closer, he would disregard his defenses and defeat Zhao Feng first. Whoosh! Zhao Feng made no attempt to dodge the black-clothed man's approach. Chaos Heaven Void Ring. Zhao Feng once more used the defensive skill of the 4th level of the Chaos Heaven Void Origin technique and gradually approached the black-clothed man. Seeking death. The black-clothed man immediately emitted a powerful scorching power and gravity in an attempt to restrain Zhao Feng. At the same time, his fists continuously bombarded over, the power shaking the heavens like exploding suns. The attack is too violent. If I take it instantly, the Chaos Heaven Void Ring might not be able to withstand it. Zhao Feng wandered around the periphery, using the Chaos Heaven Void Ring to absorb the surrounding energy. Gradually, the Chaos Heaven Void Ring's defensive power increased greatly. Boom! The black-clothed man's explosive punch came directly, but it did not break through Zhao Feng's defensive layer. In this way, Zhao Feng gradually absorbed the surrounding energy and increased the Chaos Heaven Void Ring's defensive power. Even when he was fighting the black-clothed man in close combat, the other party could not break through Zhao Feng's defense. Zhao Feng condensed a long, wide, and huge Chaos Origin Divine Sword, which left scars on the black-clothed man's tough body from time to time. Of course, Zhao Feng did not clash head-on with the black-clothed man, but retreated as he fought. On the other end, what's going on? This elder's movement technique is so strange, and each of his attacks is lethal. Could he be a member of the Shadow Race? Ancient God Blue Distance complained bitterly. He was working together with the Celestial Net Sect Master, but he still had to fight ancient god Shadow Death in fear. This time, he did not pay any attention to Zhao Feng's battle, nor did he have the time to do so. Ancient god Shadow Death was extremely experienced and powerful. The moment he revealed an opening, his opponent was certain to deliver a fatal blow. At this moment, ancient god Blue Distance's body was covered in wounds. As for the Celestial Net Sect Master, because he was controlling the array, he had only expended a little energy, but he was uninjured. The situation doesn't look good. Ancient god Shadow Death glanced at the battle between Zhao Feng and the black-clothed man and whispered. In his view, the crux of this battle was Zhao Feng and the black-clothed man. This kid, how could his defensive skill be so strong? Break for me. Each fist and palm of the black-clothed man was extremely powerful as he fiercely attacked Zhao Feng. However, Zhao Feng's speed far surpassed his opponent's, and with the Chaos Heaven Void Ring, he remained unscathed. It seems like the Shadow Race Assassin is preparing to retreat. Zhao Feng had been paying attention to Ancient God Shadow Death this entire time. He could naturally tell that Ancient God Shadow Death was the commander of this team. Junior, if you have the guts, don't run. The black-clothed man roared. Zhao Feng was fast and had formidable defenses. Moreover, that strange defensive barrier could absorb the black-clothed man's divine power, so the black-clothed man was tired and at a disadvantage. Okay, Zhao Feng faintly smiled as he stopped. You're really not going to move? The black-clothed man was confused. He began to build up a powerful skill in his body so that he could heavily wound Zhao Feng. Heh, I've played with you for so long. It's time to finish you off, Zhao Feng softly muttered. Even with his cultivation sealed to peak rank 8, it would still be extremely easy for Zhao Feng to kill the black-clothed man. He was intentionally playing around with his opponent a little longer. If he were to instantly kill his opponent, it would be far too shocking. Blazing Gold Rage Fist. The black-clothed man's arms madly surged with divine power. His fists flashed with golden flames and exuded a dangerous energy. The Blazing Gold Rage Fist was one of the Blazing Gold Race's bloodline skills. It used the bloodline power of the Blazing Gold Race to instantly unleash chaotic metal and fire energy. The peak rank 8s of the Blazing Gold Race who were fighting with the Celestial Net sect members nearby sensed this energy and immediately retreated a certain distance. Rumble. The black-clothed man instantly approached Zhao Feng, his fist brimming with dangerous energy about to strike Zhao Feng. Chaos Origin Divine Sword. Zhao Feng remained motionless, his eyes focused on the black-clothed man's head as his left eye pulsed with Chaos Origin Divine Power, mixed with eye intent. A moment later, a miniature sword of dark silver energy exploded out of Zhao Feng's left eye. Not good. The black-clothed man sensed Zhao Feng's attack, but Zhao Feng's eye bloodline technique was too fast. He was not skilled in speed, so he found it very difficult to dodge. Moreover, he believed that as long as he could take on Zhao Feng's attack, he would definitely be able to defeat Zhao Feng. But as the miniature Chaos Origin Divine Sword approached, he suddenly sensed the dreadful soul energy within it. But it was all too late. The black-clothed man's head was pierced through by the Chaos Origin Divine Sword. Although the Chaos Origin Divine Sword was a physical attack, the eye bloodline technique version of the Chaos Origin Divine Sword had a certain amount of soul damage. Moreover, while Zhao Feng's cultivation was sealed, his soul intent was not. A moment later, the black-clothed man was slain. The light between the heavens and the earth dimmed. Not good. He's dead. Ancient God Shadow Death grimaced. All of this had happened too quickly, and he was too far away to stop it. He found it hard to imagine that a single eye bloodline technique from Zhao Feng was able to kill a rank 9 ancient god. As for the Celestial Net Sect Master and Ancient God Blue Distance, they had not been paying much attention to Zhao Feng's situation, so they didn't know the specifics. However, there was no doubt that Zhao Feng had killed a rank 9 ancient god. How could this be? This kid killed a rank 9 ancient god of the Blazing Gold Race by himself? Ancient God Blue Distance found it hard to believe. Not even he and the celestial net sect master working together could accomplish such a feat. Chapter 14:12. How could this be? This brat single-handedly killed a rank 9 ancient god of the blazing gold race? Ancient god Blue Distance found it rather hard to believe. In the ancient, desolate realm of gods, it wasn't rare for someone of a higher level to kill someone of a lower level, but it mostly happened when someone of a higher level bloodline killed someone of a lower level bloodline. For races like the spiritual race and blazing gold race, which were ranked at the very top, this sort of thing rarely happened. It was for this reason that Zhao Feng's current actions were viewed with such importance and shock. Alas, very few people present had seen how Zhao Feng killed the black-clothed man. Ancient god Blue Distance and the celestial net sect master working together were far from being a match for ancient god Shadow Death, so they were too nervous to see. As for the other members of the celestial net sect, they were facing two peak rank 8 experts. If it weren't for the fact that they had the advantage in numbers, they would have been completely wiped out. The only people who clearly saw it were ancient god Shadow Death and the other two peak rank 8s of the blazing gold race. This can't be true. He actually killed a rank 9 ancient god of the blazing gold race? The two peak rank 8s saw the entire process, but they still didn't dare to believe it. Zhao Feng had reached peak rank 8 in less than 10 years. His cultivation foundation should have been extremely unstable. So how could he have such formidable strength? This brat, he's hiding something. Ancient god Shadow Death was alarmed. They had infiltrated this place to prepare for a sneak attack to the intense battle. Zhao Feng's expression hadn't changed much. But just when ancient god Shadow Death was preparing to retreat, Zhao Feng suddenly killed the black-clothed man in a single blow. Although it was just one move, ancient god Shadow Death could faintly sense the powerful soul energy on Zhao Feng's body. Retreat! Ancient god Shadow Death bellowed as he began to retreat. Zhao Feng was far too powerful, and they had just lost a rank 9 ancient god. If they continued to stay, they might be completely wiped out. Retreat! Ancient god Blue Distance was stunned. When he and the celestial net sect master worked together to fight ancient god Shadow Death, they had always been on edge, afraid that their opponent would find some opening. But now, it was ancient god Shadow Death's side that chose to retreat. All of this was because Zhao Feng had killed the rank 9 ancient god of the blazing gold race. Great! The Tian Luo sect master beamed with joy. This time, the Tian Luo sect managed to turn the situation around and defeated their enemies. All the Tian Luo sect members heaved a sigh of relief. You want to leave? Zhao Feng suddenly laughed. Whoosh! Zhao Feng's figure flashed, and he arrived beside the black-armored old man who was closest to him. No, the black-armored elder grimaced. Zhao Feng could casually kill rank 9 ancient gods of the blazing gold race. So wouldn't killing them be even easier? He immediately activated his secret technique and burned his divine power. A layer of golden flames rose from his body. Xiao! The black-armored elder immediately sped up, becoming as fast as a rank 9 ancient god. He transformed into a streak of golden light that shot off into the distance. Chaos Origin Divine Sword. Zhao Feng's left eye rippled once more as Chaos Origin Divine Power condensed into a miniature Chaos Origin Divine Sword. Xiao! A moment later, a miniature sword of dark silver energy shot out of Zhao Feng's left eye. In the distance, the black-armored elder, who had only just begun to flee, was pierced through by the Chaos Origin Divine Sword. His body shattered, and his soul was obliterated. Zhao Feng didn't need to expose his powerful soul intent to deal with a peak rank 8 ancient god. Moreover, he had already killed a rank 9 ancient god, so killing a peak rank 8 shouldn't be much of a problem. How terrifying! On the other side, the golden-masked young man shuddered at the sight of this scene. You stay behind as well. Zhao Feng's eyes once more locked onto the golden-masked youth. No! The golden-masked youth felt like the god of death was staring at him, and he immediately burned his divine power to flee. In the blink of an eye, the golden-masked youth had escaped from everyone's line of sight. At this moment, Vish, a miniature Chaos Origin divine, sword shot out of Zhao Feng's left eye and vanished. A moment later, everyone heard a scream and the aura of a soul perishing. Let's go. Ancient God Shadow Death gave Zhao Feng a deep glance, and then his body melted into the darkness and vanished. A few moments later, 3 of the Blazing Gold Race's 4 experts had been slain. This instantly killed a peak rank 8. Ancient God Blue Distance trembled as he stared at Zhao Feng like he was a monster. A rank 8 Ancient God of the Blazing Gold Race could be killed with a single glance from Zhao Feng. This meant that in Zhao Feng's eyes, he could also be killed with a single glance. At this moment, Ancient God Blue Distance recalled how he had intentionally targeted Zhao Feng, and he suddenly felt like death had brushed past his shoulder. Given the strength Zhao Feng had displayed, even if he killed Ancient God Blue Distance, the spiritual race wouldn't severely punish him. To think that he would be this powerful. The Celestial Net Sect Master's face was covered in shock. He had already sensed that Zhao Feng was unfathomable and was hiding something. He hadn't expected for Zhao Feng's true strength to be so terrifying. He could kill a rank 9 ancient god and instantly kill an expert of the same level. The Celestial Net Sect disciples were also stunned and worshipful, their eyes unable to move away from Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng, you've rendered a great service this time. I will report this to the spiritual race and heavily reward you. Ancient God Blue Distance immediately flew over, a smile on his face. He had never imagined that Zhao Feng had been hiding his strength this entire time. At this moment, he only hoped that Zhao Feng wouldn't hold a grudge against him and his father. If he could get on good terms with Zhao Feng, that would naturally be even better. With Zhao Feng's potential, becoming a god lord in the future wouldn't be much of a problem. There's no need for that. We won because of everyone's efforts. Zhao Feng had a carefree expression on his face. After saying this, he returned to his residence. Ice Origin, remember, in the future, you can't provoke him. It's best if you can get on good terms with Zhao Feng. Ancient God Blue Distance messaged Ancient God Ice Origin. Yes, Ancient God Ice Origin softly replied, a rather unpleasant feeling in his heart. Within a cold and secluded underground palace, swish, a pitch-black stream suddenly flew in, transforming into an emaciated elder. On the bed of ice jade in front of Ancient God Shadow Death was a graceful woman, her back to Ancient God Shadow Death. Although her back was to Ancient God Shadow Death, her clothes were incapable of concealing her alluring body. Her fair and slender legs were exposed, as flawless as jade. Fail! Ancient God Ice Flame's cold voice rang out. Zhao Feng was hiding his true strength. The other 3 people who traveled with me are all dead. Ancient God Shadow Death lowered his head and clenched his teeth. Kaboom! The bed of ice jade suddenly began to seethe with cold flames, and Ancient God Ice Flame's body slowly vanished in the flames. But a moment later, Ancient God Ice Flame appeared at Ancient God Shadow Death's side. Ancient God Shadow Death body was instantly covered in a layer of ice, and the blood in his body almost froze. It seems like I'll have to personally take action. A faint smile appeared on Ancient God Ice Flame's beautiful face. The Blazing Gold Race had sent 2 rank 9 ancient gods this time, but they had still failed. This was certain to attract the attention of the spiritual race, which would send even more people to the Celestial Net Sect. Ancient God Ice Flame would not permit herself to fail, so she had personally taken action this time. Ancient God Shadow Death was stunned. Ancient God Ice Flame was planning to personally deal with a peak rank 8, but he did not dare to question Ancient God Ice Flame's intentions. Yes. Ancient God Shadow Death repeatedly nodded. A few days later, the Celestial Net Sect returned to normal. All the members of the Celestial Net Sect were resting and building up their strength. Although the 2 consecutive thrilling battles had caused them to suffer heavy casualties, they had also sharpened their skills. Within the space-time robe, Zhao Feng was currently cultivating many intents. The further one cultivated an intent, the harder it was to improve. Even Zhao Feng, who had many precious resources and incredible comprehension abilities, needed to spend a great deal of time cultivating them. Besides cultivating intents, Zhao Feng would occasionally cultivate the Chaos Heaven Void Ring. Suddenly, Zhao Feng opened his eyes and left the space-time robe. A moment later, the temperature plummeted as a layer of icy mist began to pervade the area. Many members of the Celestial Net sect were alarmed by this sudden chill. Moreover, this chill was getting stronger and stronger, and many places in the Celestial Net sect were covered in ice. Oh no! The Celestial Net sect leader immediately realized that something was wrong and flew over the Celestial Net sect. In the distance, the world seemed to freeze as a figure slowly walked through the air. With each step, she crossed tens of thousands of li. In the blink of an eye, she had reached the Celestial Net sect. At this moment, ancient god Ice Flame was like a goddess of ice. Her face was supreme, but it exuded a chill that no one dared to approach. A gust of frigid cold assaulted the Tian Luo sect from all directions. If not for the defensive array, all the disciples of the Celestial Net sect below the ancient god level would have been instantly killed by this cold. Whoosh! Whoosh! Ancient god Blue Distance and his son also appeared outside. Half step, God Lord. Ancient god Blue Distance sensed ancient god Ice Flame's powerful energy and blurted out in shock. At this moment, he really wanted to run. But could he escape? Ancient god Blue Distance was depressed. Ever since Zhao Feng arrived, the Blazing Gold Race's attacks had been getting fiercer and fiercer. The first time, it was a rank 9 ancient god, and the second time, it was an assassination attempt by 2 rank 9 ancient gods. But this time, it was a half-step god lord. How could this be? A half-step god lord is participating in the battle? Ancient god Ice Origin's body trembled, and he felt like the divine power and blood in his body had been frozen, making it difficult for him to circulate them. How could this be? All the disciples of the Celestial Net sect were dumbfounded and in despair. This time, there was truly no hope. A half-step god lord with the strength of a single hand could destroy the entire Celestial Net sect. As expected, a half-step god lord. Zhao Feng's eyes dimmed. You are Zhao Feng, right? An interested smile appeared on ancient god Ice Flame's cold face. Is it time for me to reveal my true strength? Zhao Feng ignored ancient god Ice Flame and fell into thought. But suddenly, his eyes flashed and his expression relaxed. Kaboom! The sky behind Xiao Chun trembled slightly. A white, icy mist descended with a great pressure of the heavens and the earth. This is ancient god Blue Distance, and all the members of the Celestial Net sect immediately looked behind them. From within the ice crystal mist, a beautiful woman in a green dress descended from the sky. Her posture was dignified and graceful, her face serene and beautiful, her black brows and clear eyes, and her black hair flowed down her back like a waterfall. She exuded an indescribably noble and elegant aura, like an unreachable fairy. Ancient god Origin Jade. Ancient god Blue Distance's face lit up with joy. The Celestial Net sect respectfully welcomes Elder Origin Jade of the spiritual race. The Celestial Net sect master immediately said. All the members of the Celestial Net sect immediately began to call out in delight. This was because ancient god Origin Jade was a half-step god lord. Moreover, she was the youngest half-step god lord of the spiritual race, the one who had once been crowned the number 1 prodigy of the spiritual race, ancient god Origin Jade. Chapter 14:13. The arrival of the spiritual race's ancient god Origin Jade gave the despairing Celestial Net sect a glimmer of hope. Ancient god Ice Flame. Ancient god Origin Jade looked at ancient god Ice Flame in confusion, but then she sneered. On the other side, ancient god Ice Flame stood in the almost frozen world, her body shrouded in a gray-white mist. It's you? Ancient God Ice Flame stared at ancient God Origin Jade, the chill in her eyes intensifying. Shio! A pitch-black stream of energy appeared next to ancient God Ice Flame. How could that be? How could the spiritual race know that you were coming and send a half-step godlord? Ancient God Shadow Death was secretly alarmed. He originally believed that ancient God Ice Flame would be able to resolve everything. To his surprise, a half-step godlord of the spiritual race had arrived. Rumble. Two beautiful half-step divine lords stood in the void on either side of the heavens and earth. Invisible mighty forces of the heavens and earth collided with each other, causing the void to rumble unceasingly. Everyone in the Celestial Net sect was staring at the two half-step godlords. This was not just because of the invisible clash between these two half-step godlords, but also because of their alluring appearances. Ancient God Ice Flame was like a fairy of ice and snow, beautiful and proud, while ancient God Origin Jade was like a queen of crystal and jade, gorgeous and noble. However, the two of them had one thing in common, and that was that they were difficult to approach. The atmosphere between these two half-step godlords is rather strange. You don't know? The two of them were extremely talented from a young age and were proud daughters of the same generation, adding on the competitive relationship between the spiritual race and the blazing gold race. The two of them competed with each other from a young age. I didn't think that the prodigies of the spiritual race and the blazing gold race would have the chance to fight again. The majority of the people in the Celestial Net sect knew quite a bit about ancient God Origin Jade and ancient God Ice Flame. The last time we fought was 800 years ago. Let me see how much you've improved. Ancient God Origin Jade snorted as she rose into the air. Today you will die here. Ancient God Ice Flame's eyes flashed with cold light as she charged forward. Boom! Bang! Heaven and earth suddenly shook. Shocking divine power rippled, and countless ice crystals fell to the ground. Fortunately, the two half-step godlords were fighting rather far from the Celestial Net sect, or else the shockwaves of their battle would have destroyed the entire Celestial Net sect. This is a half-step godlord. The power of level 9 intent truly is extraordinary. The Tian Luo sect master murmured in shock. Ancient God Blue Distance and the other members of the Celestial Net sect were all staring at the distant horizon. However, they could only see two blurry figures colliding with each other in the icy mist. Why are you here? Ancient God Origin Jade directly asked. Logically speaking, it was not yet time for half-step God lords to personally enter the battlefield. Why are you here? Ancient God Ice Flame's expression was frigid. She didn't expect that such an accident would happen even when she personally took action this time. She was confident that ancient God Origin Jade had a reason for coming here. None of your business. Ancient God Origin Jade was enraged. A dark green crystal sword appeared in her hand, and she swung it. Boom! A massive rippling blade of light green crystal pierced through the ice and slashed at ancient God Ice Flame. Absolute ice shatter. Ancient God Ice Flame extended her jade-like hands and unleashed two balls of chilling gray-white flames. The two balls of flames collided with a massive rippling blade of light green crystal. In a flash, the massive rippling blade of light green crystal began to freeze where the two balls of flames clashed. The entire rippling blade of light green crystal was quickly sealed in ice. Ice shatter. Crystal explosion. The two women roared at the same time. Broom. The frozen, rippling blade of light instantly exploded, sending countless shards of ice flying through the world like a miraculous rain of ice crystals. The mountains around the Celestial Net sect were either covered in scars or frozen into peaks of ice. If this continues, the defensive array of the Celestial Net sect won't be able to hold on. The Celestial Net sect master had a bitter expression. Zhao Feng's left eye pierced through all the obstructions to observe the battle between the two half-step godlords. These two are of similar strength, and they're both using all their strength to kill the other. It's very difficult to determine a victor but they probably won't be able to last for long. The power of their battle will gradually weaken. Zhao Feng analyzed. Ancient God Origin Jade and Ancient God Ice Flame had been mortal enemies since they were young, and they had fought all the way to this day. In this meeting, the two of them were merciless, each of their attacks lethal. A streak of dark light suddenly appeared in Zhao Feng's chaotic vision. Not good. It's someone from the Shadow Race. Zhao Feng grimaced. The Shadow Race's ancient god Shadow Death was skilled in concealment and sneak attacks, seizing on openings to deliver a fatal blow. Under normal circumstances, ancient god Origin Jade would never have feared a sneak attack from ancient god Shadow Death. However, ancient god Origin Jade and ancient god Ice Flame were evenly matched, and they were both fighting with all their strength. This battle was extremely dangerous and could not afford to be distracted. If ancient god Origin Jade is defeated, I'll have to reveal my true strength in the end. Zhao Feng's expression darkened as he blinked forward. Brother Zhao, what are you doing? The Celestial Net Sect Master immediately called out. This kid, does he really think he's that incredible? He actually dares to approach the battlefield of half-step godlords. Ancient God Blue Distance disdainfully smiled at this sight. In the end, he and Zhao Feng had their differences. If Zhao Feng wasn't so strong, he would never have submitted to Zhao Feng. He was more than happy to see Zhao Feng throw his life away. Chaos Origin Divine Sword. In Zhao Feng's left eye, Chaos Origin Divine Power condensed into a miniature Chaos Origin Divine Sword. Thuish, a miniature mixed Origin Divine sword instantly shot out, piercing through countless ice shards and whizzing away. Ancient God Shadow Death, who was just preparing to approach the battlefield of half-step god lords, immediately sensed powerful ripples of energy. This kid, Ancient God Shadow Death's eyes dimmed. If he continued forward, he would be struck by Zhao Feng's attack. He had seen Zhao Feng's attack before, and it was extremely powerful. Damn, such a good chance. Ancient God Shadow Death clenched his teeth and chose to retreat. This time, you don't need to leave alive. Zhao Feng faintly smiled as he pursued Ancient God Shadow Death. Thuish, swish. The two of them dodged through the storm of half-step god lords, making it impossible for the members of the Celestial Net Sect to see what was going on. Chaos Heaven Void Ring. Chaos Origin Divine Power surged around Zhao Feng, forming a dark silver halo around him. The Chaos Heaven Void Ring exuded a powerful devouring energy that devoured the surrounding energy ripples. This kid's defensive skill can devour other energies to strengthen itself. Ancient God Shadow Death's expression darkened. Whoosh! He immediately distanced himself from the half-step god Lord Battle, and Zhao Feng followed. This way, your defensive skill can't absorb other energies. Ancient God Shadow Death mentally chuckled. Look, Zhao Feng's fighting with someone else. So that Shadow Race expert was hiding near the battle between the two half-step god lords. Quite a few members of the Celestial Net Sect were suddenly enlightened. But Ancient God Shadow Death and Zhao Feng quickly vanished from their sights. Thuish. After escaping the chaotic battlefield of half-step god lords, Zhao Feng's speed increased, and he quickly caught up to Ancient God Shadow Death. Seeking death, you dare approach me? Ancient God Shadow Death sneered. Although Zhao Feng's eye bloodline techniques were extremely powerful, they would find it very difficult to kill his shadow body in a single blow. Moreover, by using eye bloodline techniques, Zhao Feng would reveal an opening, and in close combat, Ancient God Shadow Death would be able to deliver a lethal blow. Chaos Origin Divine Sword. Zhao Feng transformed the Chaos Heaven Void Ring into a powerful silver sword that he slashed forward. Split Shadow Assassination. Ancient God Shadow Death's pitch-black body twisted and turned into 3 streams of pitch-black energy that dodged Zhao Feng's attack, and then darted to Zhao Feng's left, right, and back. This was a secret bloodline art of the Shadow Race. It allowed one to instantly create several clones, each of which had 80 to 90% of the attack power of the main body. If it were any other person, they would definitely be flustered when faced with such a scene in close combat. Die. The three black shadows condensed into a pitch-black thorn that stabbed forward. Chaos Origin Void Ring. In the face of this attack, Zhao Feng was unperturbed. He once more used a defensive skill, a dark silver halo of light condensing around his body. At the same time, Zhao Feng's Chaos Origin Divine Sword slashed at the pitch-black shadow behind him. How could this be? Ancient God Shadow Death was taken aback. Zhao Feng had actually sensed his true body. Swoosh! Zhao Feng's sword struck Ancient God Shadow Death's body. Although he did his utmost to dodge, he was still struck. Damn! I underestimated this kid's eye bloodline. Ancient God Shadow Death instantly guessed that it was Zhao Feng's special eye bloodline that allowed him to determine his true body. At the same time, the attacks of his clones arrived. Although the attacks were powerful, the moment they touched the Chaos Origin Void Ring, they began to weaken. Although Ancient God Shadow Death clones had 80 to 90% of the offensive power of the main body, they were formed from bloodline and divine power, so they were more easily devoured by the Chaos Origin Void Ring. They were far inferior to the attacks of Ancient God Shadow Death's divine artifacts. Retreat. Ancient God Shadow Death was already injured and wanted to retreat. Space-time seal. Zhao Feng's left eye rippled with space-time energy. In a flash, Ancient God Shadow Death body was covered in a strange and illusory energy. His speed plummeted, and in Zhao Feng's eyes, he was like a turtle. And this was because Zhao Feng hadn't used his eye bloodline technique at full power. Otherwise, Ancient God Shadow Death would have been completely immobilized. Die. Zhao Feng instantly closed in his Chaos Origin Divine Sword, cutting Ancient God Shadow Death in two. BZC. The two halves of Ancient God Shadow Death were like illusions of dark liquid, and through a bizarre method, they began to fuse back together. Normal attacks would find it very difficult to deal lethal damage to the Shadow Race. Chaos Heaven Sword Cave. Zhao Feng was already prepared, and the Chaos Origin Divine Sword in his hand unleashed a chaotic array of silver sword images that fused together into a twisted silver sword cave. Ancient God Shadow Death screamed as his body and soul were torn apart and devoured, quickly devoured by the dreadful silver void sword hole. After killing Ancient God Shadow Death, Zhao Feng returned to the Celestial Net sect. The battle with Ancient God Shadow Death was rather far away, and the entire process was extremely quick, so no one noticed it. Zhao Feng, it's fortunate that you intervened just now and didn't let the Shadow Race disturb Ancient God Origin Jade. The Celestial Net sect master immediately said, "Where's the Shadow Race?" Ancient God Blue Distance scanned the area with his divine sense, but he did not see Ancient God Shadow Death. He won't be coming back, Zhao Feng simply replied. The others didn't think too much about it. After all, they were more concerned about the battle between the two half-step god lords. This was a matter of life and death. Broom. In the sky, the two half-step god lord were still fighting to the death. Damn, her strength is on par with mine. If I insist on fighting to the death, it'll be far too dangerous. Ancient God Ice Flame's eyes were frigid. In addition, this was the territory of the spiritual race. The news of her arrival had already been spread. It probably wouldn't be long before more spiritual race experts arrived. Retreat for now. Ancient God Ice Flame unleashed a massive ball of gray-white flames as she began to retreat. Suddenly, her face froze. Where's Ancient God Shadow Death? Ancient God Ice Flame scanned the area with her divine sense, but found no sign of Ancient God Shadow Death. She only remembered that when Ancient God Shadow Death was preparing to ambush Ancient God Origin Jade, Zhao Feng intervened, and then the two clashed for a few moments before fleeing into the distance. That useless Ancient God Shadow Death was actually pushed back by Zhao Feng. Ancient God Ice Flame didn't care too much about it, and immediately retreated. The oppressive energy in the world gradually began to fade. Ancient God Origin Jade did not pursue, instead slowly descending on the celestial net sect. The sight of such a noble and beautiful fairy descending made the hearts of many men in the celestial net sect thump. But what they didn't expect was your Zhao Feng, right? Ancient god Origin Jade's eyes locked onto Zhao Feng. This scene made everyone's jaws drop. If they remember correctly, the first thing ancient god Ice Flame said when she arrived was the same. Why were the proud daughters of the two races all here to find Zhao Feng? Chapter 14:14. It is this one. Zhao Feng was also taken aback. This ancient god, Origin Jade, had come to find him. You're not bad looking. No wonder Sister Yu Fei is so hell-bent on you. Ancient god, Origin Jade, nonchalantly examined Zhao Feng for a while, and then she faintly smiled, a hint of disdain on her face. Yu Fei. Zhao Feng's expression froze in confusion. However, ancient god Origin Jade's words made Zhao Feng rather dissatisfied. She made it sound like Zhao Yufei liked him because of his appearance. If I hadn't rushed over today, you would have died without a grave. Ancient god Origin Jade looked at the dazed Zhao Feng and snorted. Originally, the battle had not reached the point where half-step god lords had to be mobilized. However, when Zhao Yufei learned that Zhao Feng had returned and was entering the battlefield, she immediately left seclusion and impatiently rushed over. But this battle had been provoked by Zhao Yufei. At this critical juncture, the spiritual race naturally could not let Zhao Yufei go. Under Zhao Yufei's repeated requests, the spiritual race had no choice but to have ancient god Origin Jade prepare to enter the battlefield and take care of Zhao Feng to ensure his safety. Ancient god Origin Jade hadn't expected that she would run into the blazing gold race's ancient god Ice Flame as soon as she arrived. Many thanks for ancient god Origin Jade's prompt arrival. Ancient god Blue Distance and the other members of the Celestial Net sect respectfully said, "Many thanks for Elder's assistance." Zhao Feng smiled. Although ancient god Ice Flame couldn't do anything to him, Zhao Feng didn't want to expose himself so early. Ancient god Origin Jade's arrival truly had resolved a problem for him. The blazing gold race's half-step god lords have already appeared on the battlefield. The following battle will only be even more desperate. Take care. Ancient god Origin Jade shot a glance at Zhao Feng before leaving. Although she had heard of Zhao Feng's exploits, Zhao Yufei was the core and future of the spiritual race. Compared to Zhao Yufei, Zhao Feng paled in comparison. In ancient god Origin Jade's mind, Zhao Feng was a man who needed a woman's request and protection. He was truly incapable. The battle has escalated. Ancient god Blue Distance appeared slightly worried. He didn't expect the situation to escalate so quickly. Just as expected, 3 months later, ancient god Origin Jade formally entered the war. On this day, the important executives of the strongholds of the major forces gathered together. The Celestial Net sect's representatives were ancient god Blue Distance, the Celestial Net sect master, and Zhao Feng. In the early stages of the war, the Astrals were at a disadvantage. Now, I will personally lead the troops and lead you to reclaim your lost lands. High above, ancient god Origin Jade was the center of attention as she made her declaration like a goddess of victory. At this moment, the sects and clans near the Tian Luo sect gradually gathered together to form a huge army. The next day, the spiritual race army attacked the territory of the blazing gold race. The spiritual race's sudden attack caught the blazing gold race off guard and resulted in a complete victory, allowing them to reclaim some of their territory. But the blazing gold race quickly reacted and dispatched many elite experts to form a similarly powerful army, led by ancient god Ice Flame. It didn't take long before the two armies clashed for the first time. At this moment, the heavens and earth changed colors, and winds were thrown into chaos. The entire world was filled with experts of all shapes and sizes. Lightning, fire, ice, and wind of all colors swept through the world. Good. Such an intense battle will help me temper myself. Zhao Feng rejoiced. This sort of chaotic battle was exactly what he had been longing for. First of all, a chaotic battlefield could sharpen one's fighting ability. Second of all, Zhao Feng could use this battlefield to accumulate many war points, which he could use to exchange for cultivation resources. When the time came, he could reveal his rank 9 cultivation so that he wouldn't attract too much attention. Chaos Origin Divine Sword. A dark silver sword of light condensed in Zhao Feng's hands. Swish, swish, swish. His figure flashed across the battlefield. Every time he stopped, he would take 1 or 2 lives. Experts of the same level were slain by Zhao Feng in one blow. In the first clash between the two armies, the spiritual race had the upper hand. In the second and third clashes, the spiritual race was victorious in both cases. And Zhao Feng gradually became famous on the battlefield. On the battlefield, Zhao Feng was like a god of death, instantly slaying opponents of the same level. Even rank 9 ancient gods wouldn't be able to last long against him. Of course, his wanton slaughter had also attracted the attention of the Blazing Gold race. He's Zhao Feng, second brother. Let's work together and kill him. A pair of Blazing Gold race brothers viciously stared at Zhao Feng. Although Zhao Feng was only a peak rank 8, killing Zhao Feng would give them almost as many contribution points as killing a peak rank 9 ancient god. These Blazing Gold race brothers were both rank 9 ancient gods, and they were extremely strong, close to peak rank 9. Whoosh, whoosh. The two of them slowly fought on the battlefield, gradually getting closer to Zhao Feng. Once they were a certain distance away, the two of them activated their powerful bloodlines and threw all caution to the wind as they charged at Zhao Feng. Die! This pair of Blazing Gold race brothers wielded their large sabers and unleashed 2 fiery blades of energy. A rank 8 ancient god had no time to dodge and was incinerated by the shock waves of the flaming blades. It seemed like the combined attack of 2 powerful rank 9 ancient gods was about to engulf Zhao Feng. At this moment, in the distant horizon, a faint green beam of light suffused with the pressure of the spiritual race shot down and collided with the 2 flaming blades. Boom! Bang! The flaming blades were destroyed, and the Blazing Gold race brothers were forced back by this powerful energy, suffering significant injuries. Damn, a half-step god, lord of the spiritual race. The 2 Blazing Gold race brothers looked up into the sky. That attack just now had been unleashed by Ancient God Origin Jade. Heavens! Ancient God Origin Jade and Ancient God Ice Flame are fighting, but she's still paying attention to Zhao Feng and helping him resolve his crisis. A peak rank 8 ancient god closer to Zhao Feng called out in alarm. Although the current prodigy of the spiritual race was Zhao Yufei, the goddess in the hearts of the older generation was still Ancient God Origin Jade. Ancient God Origin Jade normally wouldn't even look at them. But on the battlefield, Ancient God Origin Jade was still paying attention to Zhao Feng, helping him resolve his crisis. This sight instantly left many of the nearby spiritual race ancient gods shocked and envious. What's so strange about this? This isn't the first time. A distant rank 9 ancient god muttered. He was one of the young prodigies of the spiritual race, one of Ancient God Origin Jade's pursuers. Die! Zhao Feng gripped the Chaos Origin Divine Sword and charged at the Blazing Gold race brothers. The 2 of them had been injured by the shock waves from the attacks of a half-step godlord, and their fighting power had been reduced. Zhao Feng was far faster than the 2 of them, and after chasing them for a while, he managed to kill them both. The war continued for the 8th year. 50 to 60 battles had taken place in this period, with the spiritual race overwhelmingly winning over the Blazing Gold race. The spiritual race gradually regained its territory and began to invade the Blazing Gold race's territory. Quite a few people became famous in this war in the spiritual race and the Xiling Zone, but the most famous was naturally Zhao Feng. In each battle, Zhao Feng's contribution points far surpassed that of a rank 9 ancient god, leaving him far ahead of everyone else. But most of the discussion about Zhao Feng was not about his achievements. Do you think there's something going on between ancient god Origin Jade and Zhao Feng? Could ancient god Origin Jade have taken a liking to Zhao Feng? But didn't Zhao Feng and Zhao Yufei admire each other? I truly didn't think that two female prodigies of different generations of the spiritual race would fall in love with the same person. Within the spiritual race's base, rumors about Zhao Feng and ancient god Origin Jade appeared every day, and the more they spread, the more ridiculous they became. Zhao Feng was powerless to do anything about this, so he didn't care too much. In the last 8 years, he had used all his contribution points to buy cultivation resources. Of course, this was just a cover-up. The resources that Zhao Feng possessed were many times more precious than what he had exchanged for. Within the space-time robe, several ancient resources floated in front of Zhao Feng. He circulated the Chaos Heaven Void Origin technique and methodically absorbed the energy essence of these resources. Buzz. BZZ. A chaotic and distorted energy appeared around Zhao Feng's body, affecting space-time. At a certain moment, Zhao Feng's body became illusory, and powerful spatial ripples began to affect the surrounding space. Whoosh! The distorted energy floating in the air was wrapped up in a powerful void energy and absorbed into Zhao Feng's body. Peak level 8 space intent. Zhao Feng's eyes opened, and they flashed with powerful space energy. Peak level 8 space intent signified that the Chaos Heaven Void Origin technique had reached the peak of the 4th level. This breakthrough in his art allowed Zhao Feng's cultivation to naturally reach the peak of rank 9. It seems like I'll have to continue sealing my cultivation. Zhao Feng helplessly smiled. He had originally been preparing to undo the seal and reveal his true cultivation. But to his surprise, after a long period of tempering and accumulation, his cultivation naturally broke through to peak rank 9. 3 months later, the two races once more went to war. This time, Zhao Feng fought with the cultivation of a rank 9 ancient god, shocking both races. In less than 20 years, he had gone from rank 7 to rank 9. Not even the experts with the spiritual race bloodline could compare to this sort of rapid advancement speed. No, perhaps after obtaining the legacy of the martial god race, Zhao Yufei might be able to compare. This boy can't be allowed to live. On the blazing gold race's side, Elder Jin's eyes were extremely gloomy. At this moment, the two races already had 2 half-step god lords on the battlefield. But that ancient god Origin Jade has been taking care of Zhao Feng this entire time. Eliminating him will be rather difficult. Ancient god Ice Flame slightly shook her head. This time, the battle didn't last long before the blazing gold race retreated, allowing the spiritual race to win once more. In the following 2 years of fighting, the blazing gold race adopted defensive measures. But the spiritual race did not lower their guard. Everyone could sense that the war was about to enter its final phase. Within the space-time robe, having just broken into peak rank 9, Zhao Feng needed to spend a great deal of time solidifying his strength. At the same time, he split off a part of his mind to cultivate other aspects. BZZEE, Chaos Origin Divine Power, surged as a dark silver sword condensed in Zhao Feng's hand. Hiss! Hiss! Gradually, lightning began to appear on the sword. This was no ordinary lightning, but the tribulation lightning stored in Zhao Feng's lightning soul body. When he first returned, Zhao Feng had attempted to fuse the miniature Chaos Origin Divine Sword with the tribulation lightning eye flame. But this was far too difficult. If an accident occurred while fusing 2 powerful eye bloodline techniques, there would even be a backlash. For this reason, Zhao Feng gave up on fusing eye bloodline techniques and took a step back to fuse the Chaos Origin Divine Sword with Tribulation Lightning Energy. More and more lightning appeared on the Chaos Origin Divine Sword, and its light grew brighter and brighter. Beads of sweat appeared on Zhao Feng's forehead as he stared at the Chaos Origin Divine Sword in his hand. At a certain moment, the entire Chaos Origin Divine Sword was covered in tribulation lightning, following a strange law. At a glance, it looked like a primal chaos lightning sword that shook one's soul. Swoosh! Swoosh! Zhao Feng slightly activated it, and the Chaos Origin Tribulation lightning sword in his hand began to glow with lightning and exude a powerful energy that caused even the surrounding space to tremble and twist. It's done. I wonder how powerful this Chaos Origin Tribulation lightning sword is. Zhao Feng was pleasantly surprised and expectant. Chapter 14-15. Another year passed in the war between the two races. At this time, the half-step god lords of both races had appeared. But both sides only had 3 half-step god lords. Even if there was a slight difference in strength, it was not enough to affect the outcome. Only a few figures were present in the spiritual race's secret conference hall. These people were all extremely senior members of the spiritual race and were absolutely loyal to the spiritual race. From this, one could see the importance of this conference. 3 dazzling balls of divine light floated in front of them. We're currently negotiating with the half-step god lords of the divine tree forest. Once we succeed, we will have a powerful medicine Tao half-step god lord. When the time comes, the overall strength of our race will experience a qualitative leap. The spiritual race's 3rd elder announced the good news. I heard that the Blazing Gold race is negotiating with the Heaven-Shaking Alliance. I wonder how it's going? A white-haired old woman of the spiritual race asked. The Divine Tree Forest and the Heaven-Shaking Alliance were the other 2 5-star factions of the Xiling Zone. You could be at ease on this point. The Heaven-Shaking Alliance and the Blazing Gold race have yet to reach an agreement. Ancient God Origin Jade confidently said. Perhaps because of the life-sacred land suppression, these 2 5-star factions did not recklessly interfere in the war between the 2 races. But they also could not easily give up on negotiations. If the Divine Tree Forest dared to resist the pressure of the sacred land and help the spiritual race, there would be no suspense in this war. Rest and build up your strength for a month. After 1 month, we will attack again. This time, we must fight beautifully and let the Divine Tree Forest know that the spiritual race has an extremely high chance of victory. The 3rd elder's eyes darkened as he barked. The many members of the spiritual race's upper echelon all nodded. 1 month later, the 3rd elder suddenly announced that he would mobilize his army. The experts of the various races and sects instantly assembled and rode off into the distance on savage warships. Once they reached the Blazing Gold race's camp, kill. At the 3rd elder's command, the vast crowd immediately rushed out. At the same time, the 3 half-step god lords flew into the vaster skies and advanced. Boom! A scorching and icy energy soared into the sky from the palace below. The 3 half-step god lords of the Blazing Gold race charged out. Humph! The Blazing Gold race has lost. The 3rd elder stared at the 3 half-step god lords. In a recent campaign, the Blazing Gold race had always been on the defensive. And just now, with a sweep of his divine sense, he could tell that the Blazing Gold race, excluding the half-step god lords, was much weaker than the spiritual race. We still don't know who will win. A strange light flashed across Elder Jin's eyes. A moment later, the 6 half-step god lords of the 2 races clashed. Rumble. The ripples of divine power caused all the members below the half-step god lord level to tremble in fear. Kill. Entering the battlefield, Zhao Feng only had one goal, to temper himself while suppressing his cultivation and various means. It was a common training method. Many forces had special training rooms, for example, to control gravity, speed, power Upanishads, and so on. Whoosh! Zhao Feng's body flickered to the side, and as soon as he reappeared, he killed a peak 8th Order expert with lightning-like speed. When that peak Type 8 expert died, he did not even know how he died. Right, let's try the Mixed Origin Tribulation Lightning Sword. With a thought, the Chaos Origin Divine Sword in Zhao Feng's left hand glowed with lightning. However, at this moment, he suddenly sensed a powerful aura rapidly approaching him. Peak rank 9. Zhao Feng raised his head and saw a scorching golden flame rumbling toward him. Seeking death. Zhao Feng's eyes chilled. In the eyes of outsiders, he had only just broken into rank 9, so he did not go out of his way to kill a peak rank 9. But now that a peak rank 9 was attacking him, he wouldn't be polite. But a moment later, Zhao Feng sighed. Boom! Booish! In the distant horizon, a crystalline green sword energy, suffused with the immense pressure of the spiritual race, rumbled toward him. Ancient God Origin Jade is helping Zhao Feng again. Many experts nearby were either surprised or regretful. Had the proud daughter of the previous generation really fallen in love with Zhao Feng? Sensing the attack of a half-step God Lord, the peak rank 9 of the blazing gold race immediately retreated. Something's wrong. Zhao Feng grimaced as he watched his opponent retreat. Ancient God Origin Jade was in the middle of an intense battle, and that was just a casual attack. A peak rank 9 was still capable of dealing with it, but his opponent had chosen to retreat. This made Zhao Feng feel that something was wrong. He suddenly raised his head, his left eye piercing through the obstacles to see the half-step God Lord battlefield. Die! Ancient God Ice Flame's eyes exploded with cold light. With a wave of her left hand, a thin elder wearing a dark green robe suddenly appeared. Swish! The moment the skinny old man appeared, he slapped out a huge palm that was covered in green mist. Half-step God Lord, Ancient God Dark Crow. Ancient God Origin Jade grimaced and hurriedly circulated her divine power, forming a crystalline membrane on her skin. Boom! Bang! Ancient God Dark Crow's palm of green mist slammed into Ancient God Origin Jade's body. Poison. Ancient God Origin Jade grimaced. Ancient God Dark Crow's poison was extremely unique. It could penetrate her defenses and invade the body of a spiritual race member. It was obvious that this was a poison specially created to deal with the spiritual race. At the same time, Ancient God Ice Flame's palm of extreme cold descended. Bang! The barrier around Ancient God Origin Jade's body froze and cracked. The cold and poison worked together to madly invade Ancient God Origin Jade's body. Ancient God Origin Jade. It's actually Ancient God Dark Crow. This is troublesome. The other two half-step God Lords of the spiritual race had extremely grim expressions. Ancient God Dark Crow had some fame in the ancient desolate realm of gods. He was a genius blessed by the heavens and was particularly interested in poisons. It was rumored that 5 half-step God Lords had died to Ancient God Dark Crow's poison, and one of them had been killed by Ancient God Dark Crow alone. On the surface, we're negotiating with the Heaven-Shaking Alliance, but in secret, we've been trying to rope in Ancient God Dark Crow. Elder Jean heartily laughed. Haha, in this battle, I'll make your spiritual race bleed. The short, middle-aged man of the blazing gold race wickedly chuckled. He was the one who had thought of this plan. They originally wanted to deal with Zhao Feng, but Ancient God Origin Jade had been taking care of Zhao Feng this entire time, making it difficult for them to do anything. But now that they thought about it, perhaps they could use Zhao Feng to deal with Ancient God Origin Jade. But as a half-step God Lord, even if he could find an opening in his opponent, he would find it very difficult to heavily injure or kill him. Thus, the Blazing Gold race had Ancient God Dark Crow hide in Ancient God Ice Flame's body. Just now, when Ancient God Origin Jade split her attention to help Zhao Feng, Ancient God Dark Crow suddenly appeared and joined forces with Ancient God Ice Flame to heavily wound Ancient God Origin Jade. Moreover, Ancient God Dark Crow's poison had already permeated Ancient God Origin Jade's body. In this battle, they could even kill the spiritual race's Ancient God Origin Jade. Ancient God Origin Jade, the spiritual race's third elder, sensed the gravity of the situation and wanted to reinforce Ancient God Origin Jade. But the Blazing Gold race's elder Jean would never give him this chance. Despicable, despicable, and shameless. Ancient God Origin Jade wiped the blood from her lips and coldly stared at Ancient God Ice Flame and Ancient God Dark Crow. Whoosh! Her figure flashed, and she fled into the distance. She was heavily injured and poisoned, so she naturally couldn't fight against two half-step god lords. Once she died, the outcome of this battle would be decided. Thus, she had sent a message to the god lords of her race. If she could last until a god lord arrived, the spiritual race still had hope. Ancient God Origin Jade, it's time for the battle between you and me to end. Ancient God Ice Flame sneered as she blinked away. TSK, TSK, killing such a beauty is truly a pity. Ancient God Dark Crow's eyes flashed with dark green light as he regretfully said, "Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh." The three half-step god lords left the vast and dreadful battlefield and headed into the distance. Ancient God Origin Jade. How could this be? Ancient God Origin Jade was ambushed and heavily injured by two half-step god lords. Down below, the morale of the spiritual race instantly plummeted. Many of Ancient God Origin Jade's admirers became worried and wanted nothing more than a follow. But a battle between half-step god lords was not something they could interfere in. Moreover, the spiritual race was in a weakened state, so they could not easily leave. Damn, it's all because of this brat. Ancient God Origin Jade put herself in danger to save him. You've harmed the entire spiritual race. Quite a few people reproachfully looked at Zhao Feng. Defend. Retreat. The spiritual race's third elder bellowed. In the current situation, if they continued to fight, the spiritual race would suffer massive losses. If they retreated to their own territory, they might be able to use the terrain to salvage the situation. To think that it would turn out like this. Zhao Feng sighed. Although Ancient God Origin Jade had volunteered to help him, in the end, Ancient God Origin Jade had always been taking care of Zhao Feng. And this time, Ancient God Origin Jade was in danger because of Zhao Feng, and there was even a chance that she might die. Swish! Zhao Feng's body flashed as he shot off in the direction the three half-step god lords had fled. Haha, this kid has at least a little conscience. He knows that he harmed Ancient God Origin Jade, so he ran over to save her. The short, middle-aged man of the blazing gold race gave an even more sinister smile. Ancient God Ice Flame and Ancient God Dark Crow working together would have no problem killing Ancient God Origin Jade. But now, Zhao Feng had run over to throw his life away. The blazing gold race had profited greatly this time. Zhao Feng, the third elder, called out, his expression tense. But Zhao Feng seemed not to hear, and he continued to get farther and farther away. This made the third elder's expression darken and furious, but there was nothing he could do about it. Extreme Frost Flame. Ancient God Ice Flame waved a hand, unleashing a massive ball of gray-white flames. Kiki stopped struggling. Ancient God Dark Crow gave a sinister smile, his thin and savage claws exuding a layer of black light. Swish! Swish! As Ancient God Origin Jade fled, she defended and dodged. But she was already injured, and now that she was plagued by poison, she was in a rather mediocre state. Bang! A portion of the power of the two attacks struck Ancient God Origin Jade's body and pushed her back several li. Ancient God Origin Jade, give up resisting. I'll let you die a quick death. Ancient God Ice Flame coldly shouted. The two half-step god lords rapidly approached Ancient God Origin Jade. Damn! Ancient God Origin Jade's face was rather pale, and her crystalline body was extremely dim. There were many wounds on it, and it was like a perfect treasure had been cracked. It was a truly distressing sight. Kiki, I'll let you be the test subject for my poison. Ancient God Dark Crow wickedly chuckled as he flew toward Ancient God Origin Jade. But at this moment, a spatial ripple appeared behind him. In a flash, Zhao Feng blinked to Ancient God Origin Jade's side. Kiki, are you her old lover? Ancient God Dark Crow asked with an interested smile. He was rather shocked that a rank 9 ancient god dared to run over in this situation. Truly an idiot. Ancient God Ice Flame sneered. They wanted to kill Zhao Feng earlier, but no matter what they did, they couldn't kill him. But now, After using Zhao Feng to heavily wound ancient god Origin Jade, Zhao Feng came running over to his death. This was killing two birds with one stone. "What are you doing here?" Ancient god Origin Jade was taken aback, and then she called out. Although she longed for someone to save her, what use could a mere rank 9 ancient god like Zhao Feng be? He would just be sending himself to his death. "I will save you," Zhao Feng calmly said, his expression unperturbed by the two half-step god lords. At the same time, a profound and powerful energy began to exude from his body. Chapter 14:16. "I will save you," Zhao Feng calmly said, his expression unperturbed by the two half-step god lords. At the same time, a deep and powerful energy began to exude from his body. At this moment, Zhao Feng stared straight at the two half-step god lords, his face indifferent and fearless, his body seeming even more imposing. Peak rank 9. Ancient god Origin Jade was confused at first, but then she was alarmed. She sensed that Zhao Feng's cultivation had actually reached peak rank 9. Oh, so this kid was hiding his cultivation. Ancient god Dark Crow's eyes flashed. Of course, this was not what he was surprised about. After all, peak rank 9 was nothing in his eyes. He was surprised that not even half-step god lords like them had been able to see through Zhao Feng's ability to hide his cultivation. This kid can't be left alive. Ancient god Ice Flame's eyes chilled. At this moment, she looked at Zhao Feng with a tinge of fear in her heart, and she wanted to immediately make this person disappear. "You've been deceiving me this entire time." Ancient god Origin Jade was rather angry. The person she had been taking care of all this time actually had a peak rank 9 cultivation. With Zhao Feng's peak rank 9 cultivation, he wouldn't be in any danger on the battlefield against anyone below the half-step god lord level, and he wouldn't need her help. But she didn't know any of this. She had been helping Zhao Feng for 10 some years. Although she was furious at this moment, Zhao Feng had braved the danger of two half-step god lords to save her. This made ancient god Origin Jade's heart flutter, and she felt a surge of warmth. Suddenly, she sensed ancient god Ice Flame's icy killing intent and immediately said, "Even if you're a peak rank 9, you can't save me. Hurry and run. You want to leave now? Too late." Gray-white flames surged out of ancient god Ice Flame's icy body, covering the surrounding area in a layer of frost. At this moment, she was willing to put aside ancient god Origin Jade in order to kill Zhao Feng first. "Kiki, conceited brat, obediently accept your death." Ancient god Dark Crow waved his hand, sending out a dark green mist that took the shape of a skull toward Zhao Feng. On the other side, ancient god Ice Flame unleashed a fist of ice flame, the icy flames on this fist seeming capable of freezing and shattering all. "Hurry up and go," ancient god Origin Jade immediately said. If it was just a half-step god lord, Zhao Feng might have been able to save her. But against two half-step god lords, Zhao Feng's peak rank 9 cultivation was powerless to reverse the situation. Moreover, ancient god Dark Crow possessed extraordinary strength and was skilled in poison. If he worked with ancient god Ice Flame, he would be even stronger. The attacks of the two half-step god lords were about to engulf ancient god Origin Jade and Zhao Feng. Suddenly, Zhao Feng embraced ancient god Origin Jade, his powerful arms pressing against her soft and slender waist. "What are you doing?" Ancient god Origin Jade blushed as she called out. However, she was already injured and poisoned. Naturally, she couldn't break free from Zhao Feng's strong arms. Chaos Heaven Void Ring. Chaos Origin Divine Power rippled around Zhao Feng's body, slowly forming a dark silver halo that protected him and ancient god Origin Jade. Boom! Swish! The skull-shaped, venomous creature collided with Qin Wentian, and a boundless venom spread out in all directions. In a flash, all life in the area was extinguished, and even the rocks began to rot. But within the Chaos Heaven Void Ring, Zhao Feng and ancient god Origin Jade were safe and sound. Moreover, the Chaos Heaven Void Ring was rapidly absorbing the poison energy to strengthen itself. In the next instant, the ice flame fist descended upon him. Boom! An extremely cold flame exploded on the Chaos Heaven Void Ring, and countless icy flames began to invade it. In contrast to Ancient God Dark Crow, Ancient God Ice Flame's attacks were far more explosive and instantly lethal. If not for the fact that the Chaos Heaven Void Ring had absorbed Ancient God Dark Crow's energy, it would have found it very difficult to block Ancient God Ice Flame's attack. He blocked it. How could this be? Ancient God Ice Flame and Ancient God Dark Crow were both flabbergasted. For a peak rank 9 to be able to block the attacks of two half-step God Lords was simply too shocking. Within the Chaos Heaven Void Ring, Ancient God Origin Jade also watched in shock. At this moment, she was sticking close to Zhao Feng. After all, the attacks of the two half-step God Lords had just arrived, and in the face of death, Ancient God Origin Jade had subconsciously stuck close to Zhao Feng. When she realized this, the blush on her icy face deepened, and she hurriedly put some distance between them. We can't be careless. Just kill him. Ancient God Ice Flame's face was as cold as ice. Their casual attacks just now were believed to be enough to kill Zhao Feng, but they ended up with a huge surprise. Not good. They're getting serious this time. Ancient God Origin Jade was rather worried. But when she looked at Zhao Feng, she realized that Zhao Feng's expression had not changed in the slightest. It was like these two half-step God Lords were nothing in his eyes. Two half-step God Lords aren't easy to deal with. Zhao Feng's mind rapidly turned as he tried to think of a countermeasure. He had killed a half-step God Lord of Ancient Soul Hall when he was only rank 9. But at that time, his opponents were already injured, and the Light Race Divine Kingdom was also suppressing them. Ancient God Jailsia's group didn't even have 60% of their peak strength. But now Zhao Feng was not just facing half-step God Lords at their peak, but two of them. More importantly, Ancient God Origin Jade was poisoned and needed to be treated as quickly as possible. I'll have you fight. Zhao Feng faintly smiled. Spatial energy rippled around his body, and a dark silver robe appeared, glimmering with a dazzling silver radiance. At the same time, two figures charged out of the space-time robe. Boom! A heaven-shaking calamitous energy immediately began to spread. The enemies approaching Zhao Feng and Ancient God Origin Jade were instantly stunned, their bloodlines trembling as they stopped in the air. What sort of bloodline is this? Ancient God Ice Flame's body trembled. A wicked and black-scaled man emerged from the crimson draconic flames. On the other side, a handsome and mysterious youth appeared in an illusory dimension. This was none other than the clone that Zhao Feng had formed not long ago, Zhao Kong. Destruction Dragon Race, Eye of Space-Time. Ancient God Dark Crow's expression darkened. Fortunately, the black-scale man and the mysterious youth weren't even at peak rank 9. He still has helpers? Ancient God Origin Jade rejoiced. The two helpers Zhao Feng had just called out didn't have very high cultivations, but they had extraordinary backgrounds, making their side even stronger. Haha, I'll let you experience the fury of the Destruction Dragon race. The Black Destruction Dragon savagely laughed in excitement. The blood of the Destruction Dragon race flowed through its veins, and the Black Destruction Dragon was a warlike individual. The Black Destruction Dragon had been bored out of its mind from staying in the space-time robe for so long. Now that it had a chance to fight, it ignored everything else and madly charged at Ancient God Ice Flame. Swish! In a flash of black flame, the Black Destruction Dragon shot toward Ancient God Ice Flame. Meanwhile, Zhao Kong and the Black Destruction Dragon charged at Ancient God Ice Flame. Let's deal with this person, Zhao Feng called out. Ancient God Origin Jade understood his meaning, and a green crystal sword appeared in her hand. She slashed out with a sharp and powerful edge at Ancient God Dark Crow. Chaos Origin Divine Sword. Chaos Origin Divine Power rippled in Zhao Feng's hand, instantly forming a broad silver sword. Swoosh swoosh. Two powerful sword slashes shot toward ancient god Dark Crow with lightning-fast speed. Whoosh! With a wave of his robe, ancient god Dark Crow unleashed a pitch-black poisonous mist. The moment Zhao Feng and ancient god Origin Jade's attacks entered the poisonous mist, they immediately began to weaken. Whoosh! Ancient god Origin Jade's green crystal sword slash became extremely dim, and when it struck ancient god Dark Crow, it was easily shattered. Kiki, my black decay poison can corrode divine power. Ancient god Dark Crow wickedly chuckled. At this moment, Zhao Feng's Chaos Origin divine sword slash arrived, but its power had not been weakened at all. Boom! Bang! In his carelessness, the Chaos Origin divine sword slash struck ancient god Dark Crow's body, leaving behind a ghastly wound from which blood slowly flowed. Damn! This kid's divine power has a devouring attribute. It's counteracting the black decay poison. Ancient god Dark Crow's expression darkened. He suddenly realized that he was being countered by Zhao Feng. He was skilled in using poison, and the majority of his attacks were long-lasting attacks. Meanwhile, Zhao Feng's Chaos Origin divine power could continuously absorb energy from his surroundings. In comparison, Ancient God Ice Flame's explosive power was more effective against Zhao Feng. Ancient God Dark Crow sent out his divine sense in shock. Although the Black Destruction Dragon and Zhao Kong weren't even peak rank 9, when the two of them worked together, they had the upper hand. The Black Destruction Dragon had the bloodline of the Destruction Dragon race, and had a suppressive effect on Ancient God Ice Flame's bloodline. This, coupled with its powerful fighting power and Destruction Dragon body, made it extremely savage and vicious. Zhao Kong's Eye of Space-Time was close to the Quasi-God Eye level and was extremely powerful. It was responsible for restraining and hindering Ancient God Ice Flame. Oh no! Ancient God Dark Crow suddenly sensed danger. Swish! Zhao Feng suddenly appeared behind him and slashed with his Chaos Origin Divine Sword. Before the sword even arrived, a powerful space-time energy descended on Ancient God Dark Crow's body, slowing his reaction time and making it impossible for him to dodge. Damn! Ancient God Dark Crow clenched his teeth and took out a dazzling pearl. Boom! Bang! The dark green pearl exploded, unleashing a 5-colored mist that engulfed Ancient God Dark Crow and Zhao Feng. Chaos Heaven Void Ring. Zhao Feng used a defensive skill to block this explosive poison. At the same time, he slashed at Ancient God Dark Crow. The 5-colored mist gathered around Ancient God Dark Crow, forming a poisonous barrier. Boom! Bang! Ancient God Dark Crow was pushed back several li by Zhao Feng's attack, but because of his defensive measures, he was not badly injured. Tribulation Lightning Eye Flame. Zhao Feng's left eye began to turn, condensing a twisted Tribulation Lightning Flame. Cackrack. Ancient God Dark Crow's body had just stopped when a Tribulation Lightning Flame exploded on his soul. Ancient God Dark Crow clutched his head and howled. Let's go. Zhao Feng once more embraced Ancient God Origin Jade and called back the Black Destruction Dragon and Zhao Kong before swiftly departing. Don't even think about it. Ancient God Ice Flame's eyes flashed with cold light. Originally, Ancient God Origin Jade's death was assured, but Zhao Feng's appearance had ruined their meticulous plans and changed everything. Space-time barrier. Zhao Feng activated the space-time robe, unleashing layers of indistinct energy that blocked Ancient God Ice Flame's path. Unless one could pass through the space-time barrier, Ancient God Ice Flame could not use instant movement or other techniques. But when Ancient God Ice Flame charged into the space-time barrier, a powerful space-time intent restrained her. On the other side, Ancient God Dark Crow was covered in wounds and in a sorry state. Damn! When Ancient God Ice Flame charged out and saw that Zhao Feng was nowhere to be seen, she couldn't help but clench her teeth. Space-time robe, space-time intent. This kid is too fast. We can't catch up. For a moment, the two of them were frozen on the spot, their faces gloomy and unsightly. A trifling rank 9 rookie had managed to rescue ancient god Origin Jade from right under the eyes of two half-step god lords. The two of them had no face left. Chapter 14:17. A layer of spatial ripples appeared in the sky. Swish! Zhao Feng brought ancient god Origin Jade out of the void. We're safe now. Zhao Feng stopped and moved his arm away from ancient god Origin Jade's soft waist. Many thanks. Although ancient god Origin Jade was extremely weak, her face was still suffused with an alluring blush. Let me first help you suppress the poison in your body, Zhao Feng said. If not for the fact that ancient god Origin Jade was poisoned and could not fight for long periods of time, Zhao Feng would not have been in such a rush to escape. It wasn't too difficult for him to kill a half-step god lord, although two half-step god lords were rather troublesome to deal with. If he used all his trump cards, he was very confident that he could kill them. But at this moment, the clouds in the distant horizon shifted. Boom! A heaven-shaking pressure suddenly descended. A white gust of wind suddenly blew through the world, completely suppressing all other energies. Suddenly, an elder wearing a platinum robe, his entire body shrouded in crystalline white light, appeared in the wind. At this moment, this elder seemed to be the representative of the world, his every movement exuding the pressure of the entire world. God Lord! Zhao Feng stared in shock at the elder. Second elder, ancient god Origin Jade had a respectful expression. Why are the two of you here? The second elder stared at ancient god Origin Jade and Zhao Feng. Reporting to elder, I was schemed against by the blazing gold race and was in danger, but Zhao Feng came alone to save me. The two of us worked together to escape the danger. Ancient god Origin Jade succinctly said. Oh! The second elder's gaze immediately fell on Zhao Feng. He spent most of his time in seclusion, so he didn't know much about Zhao Feng's affairs. He had only heard a few rumors. The space-time robe on Zhao Feng's body had attracted his attention, and he was also rather shocked by Zhao Feng's age and cultivation. In the end, his gaze fell on Zhao Feng's left eye, and a hint of confusion appeared in his eyes. Not bad. You've far surpassed my expectations. In the end, the second elder only said this sentence. But to be personally praised by a god lord was still an honor for anyone below half-step god lord. Thank you for your praise, elder, Zhao Feng said politely. Although you are out of danger since I'm here, I won't go back so easily. The second elder looked into the distance. Yes, ancient god Origin Jade immediately nodded. She was incomparably shocked. Was the second elder going to interfere in the war? Go! The second elder waved his sleeve, and an invisible energy pulled Zhao Feng and ancient god Origin Jade to his side. Poison! The second elder once more turned to ancient god Origin Jade. At the same time, a mysterious and unfathomable law energy engulfed ancient god Origin Jade. At this moment, ancient god Origin Jade felt like she had become immortal, unable to circulate any energy. Zhao Feng's left eye turned to ancient god Origin Jade. Although ancient god Origin Jade was being suppressed by the laws, the poison in her body was being suppressed even more. The poison around ancient god Origin Jade's body was completely vanquished by the law energy of a half-step god lord. A moment later, all the suppression on ancient god Origin Jade's body vanished, and she discovered that the poison in her body had also been expelled. Many thanks, elder, ancient god Origin Jade gratefully said. The second elder said nothing as he took ancient god Origin Jade and Zhao Feng with him and used spatial shift. The battlefield between the two races was in complete chaos, with no daylight visible. Whoosh! Whoosh! Suddenly, two figures with powerful auras flew toward the battlefield. Ancient god Ice Flame, ancient god Dark Crow. The spiritual race's third elder half closed his eyes at these two figures, a hint of helplessness on his face. Could it be that ancient god Origin Jade and that kid have already... Next to him, a white-haired old woman had an unbearable expression. The vast majority of the spiritual race members on the battlefield had dejected and despairing looks on their faces. "Ah, you finally returned." Elder Jean sneered, but he did not ask any questions. In his view, with Ancient God Ice Flame and Ancient God Dark Crow working together, Ancient God Origin Jade and Zhao Feng were doomed. Ancient God Ice Flame looked at Elder Jean, finding it rather difficult to speak. Even if she told Elder Jean, he probably wouldn't believe that a rank 9 rookie like Zhao Feng could rescue Ancient God Origin Jade from the hands of 2 half-step godlords. But this was already a fact, and they needed to report it to their superiors. But at this moment, retreat, Elder Jean bellowed, interrupting Ancient God Ice Flame. Although the Blazing Gold Race members didn't know the reason, they had absolute obedience to their commander's orders. In a flash, the entire Blazing Gold Race turned and retreated. What's going on? The Blazing Gold Race is retreating. The spiritual race's third elder was frozen to the spot. Down below, all the members of the spiritual race were waiting for their elder's order. Although the Blazing Gold Race had retreated, the enemy was far stronger than the spiritual race. Pursuing them would just be asking for trouble. But a moment later, the spiritual race's third elder and the white-haired old woman grimaced. Broom! A white wind suddenly blew through the world, causing everything else to lose their luster. Suddenly, 3 figures appeared in the sky above the spiritual race. Paying respects to second elder, the third elder and the white-haired old woman respectfully called out. At the same time, all the living beings in the world prostrated themselves before the second elder. Ancient God Origin Jade and Zhao Feng are both fine. The spiritual race experts breathed a sigh of relief. In their view, a godlord must have arrived in time to save the 2 of them. Zhao Feng, in the future, don't do anything stupid. The third elder harshly rebuked. Zhao Feng did not bother to explain. Wanna run? The second elder snorted, and then his body vanished. A moment later, he was upon the Blazing Gold Race army. Retreat. Don't worry about anything. Elder Jean bellowed. The longer one stayed against the godlord, the more damage one would suffer. In addition, the spiritual race had attacked first, so this place was very close to the Blazing Gold Race's base. As long as they returned to the base, they could use the array to temporarily hold off the attacks of the spiritual race godlords. Broom! The energy of the world surged and gathered on the second elder's body. Now that this old man has come, how could I possibly return without accomplishing anything? The second elder waved his hand, condensing a ball of crystal. This ball of crystal seemed to be liquid, constantly twisting and changing shape. Whoosh! This ball of divine power transformed into a crystalline gale that rumbled toward the Blazing Gold Race army. His target is me. No. The short middle-aged man sensed the massive ripples of energy behind him, and he grimaced as he screamed. A godlord naturally would not kill the unimportant true gods, but the highest-level half-step godlords in the Blazing Gold Race army. The middle-aged man immediately activated his Blazing Gold Race bloodline, unleashing a scorching golden flame. Boom! Bang! The clash of the 2 caused the world to shake. Many true gods and ancient gods in the vicinity were killed by the shockwaves of the battle. If I want you dead, you'll die. The second elder coldly snorted as he waved his hand again. No! The middle-aged man screamed with all his might. He had already used everything he had to block the first attack of a godlord. Bang! A crystalline gale blew past, and the middle-aged man's body vanished. Run! The power of a god lord is too terrifying. The entire Blazing Gold Race army fled in panic. The Blazing Gold Race army quickly returned to the base and activated the arrays. The second elder immediately retreated. The moment he appeared, the Blazing Gold Race had definitely notified their godlords. Moreover, the enemy still had 3 half-step godlords, and with the arrays of the base, even if they tried to force their way in, the result would not be good. The spiritual race army retreated to the base to rest. The spiritual race had suffered grievous losses in this battle. If not for the fact that the second elder had taken action and killed a half-step god, lord, and many true gods of the blazing gold race, the spiritual race would have suffered massive losses. Not long after the spiritual race retreated, they received news that the blazing gold race god lords had arrived. But with the second elder standing guard, they had nothing to fear. 3 days later, bad news arrived. Damn, the blazing gold race actually sent another god lord to destroy several of our smaller bases. The third elder bellowed in rage. Not only that god lord of the blazing gold race had laid an ambush on the way back to the spiritual race, killing a small team of spiritual race soldiers, including a half-step god lord. Prepare for an all-out war, the second elder said, his eyes half closed. The third elder's expression changed as he nodded. On the same day, the third elder issued an order to gather all the forces of the spiritual race. In the distance, the blazing gold race army was also gradually strengthening. On the third day, 2 more god lords arrived. They were the spiritual race's grand elder and patriarch. The spiritual race's grand elder was slightly plump and rather amiable. Although he was a god lord, he gave off an amiable aura. As for the spiritual race patriarch, he was shrouded in a faint blue mist, making it impossible to see his true appearance. BZZ. Zhao Feng couldn't help but use his left eye to peer through the mist. He saw that the spiritual race patriarch was tall and imposing, his expression calm. His entire body was made of translucent blue crystals, and his translucent blue hair flowed like water. I heard that the spiritual race patriarch has reached the second heaven. Zhao Feng muttered. There were 3 heavens of God Lord, and each heaven seemed to be separated by an entire heaven. Broom! At this moment, the distant horizon turned golden red as if it had been set ablaze by boundless flames. 10 enormous warships of golden flame began to rapidly approach. 3 dazzling balls of golden light floated at the top of the warship in the middle. The figure in the center was 30 feet tall, and his body of golden glass was covered in strange and complicated flame patterns. To his left was a hunchbacked elder, while to his right was a beautiful old lady who still retained her charm. Today we'll settle everything. A ball of flame immediately ignited on the blazing gold race patriarch's body of golden glass. In a flash, the entire world was suffused with boundless flames. These flames were not targeted at the blazing gold race members. On the contrary, they boosted their fighting spirit and strength. We should have settled this long ago, the spiritual race patriarch flatly said. Zhao Feng, this is the final battle. Ancient god Origin Jade's injuries have not completely healed, so stop hiding your strength. The second elder suddenly messaged Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng's expression froze. It appeared that ancient god Origin Jade had probably told the second elder everything. Ancient god Origin Jade was still heavily injured, and the blazing gold race had 1 more half-step god lord than the spiritual race. Only Zhao Feng could fill this gap. I will. Zhao Feng nodded. If the spiritual race obtained a complete victory, Zhao Feng would have 1 less major problem to worry about. Thus, in this crucial final battle, Zhao Feng would use his full strength. Chapter 14:18. A powerful energy instantly filled every corner of his body, destroying and devouring everything. The array was still in the process of being laid down, so he could not allow Zhao Feng to destroy it. Zhao Feng was alarmed. A moment later, he charged into the blazing gold race army. He immediately activated his powerful physical body, and his body began to glow with golden light as he exuded a powerful physical pressure. This is the power of a second heaven god lord. Zhao Feng's body rapidly flickered through the army. What a powerful bloodline energy! The eye of space-time, the eye of death, and this dreadful ancient bloodline. Could it be the destruction dragon race? The demon-slaughtering celestial fire array is complete. The warships between the two races fired countless energy cannons and beams of divine power. I truly didn't think that he would grow to this level in such a short time. This person is the #1 person on my race's bounty list. Blazing Sun Fist. Zhao Feng faintly smiled. The giant man softly called out. Some of the weaker cultivators didn't even know what was going on before they were slain by Zhao Feng. Masterly called out to the giant man. Swish. Fight. This kid's strength is on par with a half-step godlord at the very least, but there's still a way. Quite a few people saw that Zhao Feng had arrived and immediately began to flee. On the other side, the Blazing Gold Race members felt the divine power in their bodies being suppressed and unable to circulate as they wished. An elder dressed in hemp robes in the rear of the Blazing Gold Race army whispered. The nearby Blazing Gold Race members were all stunned. The moment the three of them appeared, their powerful auras swept out in all directions. Master Li called out in alarm. At this moment, if he listened to Master Li's orders, there was a high chance that he could kill Zhao Feng. Kaboom! Hear my order. Begin laying down the array. The giant man only wanted to stop Zhao Feng for a few moments so that he could finish laying down the array. Another person has appeared. You guys should come out and cause a ruckus as well. Zhao Feng's body flickered as he approached the giant man and Master Li. In a flash, the giant man's divine body and soul were heavily injured, and he vomited blood. Damn bitch, it's you again. Above the formation, there was a giant blade made of golden flames, emitting waves of divine flames. Before it even got close, Zhao Feng already felt a scorching heat. The Black Destruction Dragon immediately charged at Ancient God Ice Flame. With a wave of the Chaos Origin Divine Sword, a rank 7 Ancient God and several true gods were slain. In the back, Ancient God Blue Distance and his son, as well as Ancient God Floating Spirit and the other experts that recognized Zhao Feng, were all stunned by this sight. Zhao Feng, who was fighting on the battlefield, sensed that something was wrong. However, there were also some people who stared at Zhao Feng as if they were waiting for an opportunity. The Blazing Gold Race Patriarch roared. Several figures emerged from the space-time robe. Not good. A half-step God Lord. Of course, this wasn't the time to watch the Divine Masters fight. Many of the nearby true gods and ancient gods gathered around the giant man and Master Li. In a flash, Zhao Feng had cut a massive hole in the giant man's defensive body. Zhao Feng looked at Ancient God Ice Flame and laughed. Zhao Feng's eyes dimmed. The power exuded by this array was enough to move even a half-step godlord. Zhao Feng showed no fear. Gripping the Chaos Origin Divine Sword, he charged forward and slashed at the blazing ball of flame. Although he found it hard to believe, Zhao Feng's strength was definitely not simple. But suddenly, a miniature long sword pierced through his body. In a flash, the burning sensation the spiritual race members felt lessened, and they sensed that the Heaven-Earth Yuan Qi was abundant enough to rapidly replenish their divine power. A flame array controlled by 12 people began to move toward Zhao Feng. The massive warships of the two sides collided. The reward for killing Zhao Feng was something that even a half-step godlord would be tempted by. The world shuddered as the three god lords of the two races soared into the sky, flying to a distant battlefield. The giant man endured the pain as he approached the array. The giant man's forehead was drenched in cold sweat. A black-scaled man, shrouded in pitch-black dragon flames, exuded a dreadful aura of calamity. You don't need to go back. The giant man was a peak rank 9 of the Blazing Gold Race. Moreover, his bloodline was extremely thick, and he was extremely talented. There was even a chance that he would become a god lord in the future. The patriarchs of both races were second heaven god lords. Countless figures flew out of the array and began to attack. Master Li, do you have a way? The Chaos Origin Divine sword instantly cut into the giant ball of flame and pulverized it. As long as he could enter the array, he would have a chance to survive. The golden flames in the world began to seethe and explode. Besides strengthening the members of the Blazing Gold Race, they could also suppress their enemies. making them feel like they were in a blazing hell. In the center of the array was the peak, rank 9 masterly. Around the array were 4 rank 8 ancient gods and 7 rank 7 ancient gods. It really is masterly. The giant man rapidly retreated, his target the giant flame blade. In their first clash, he was certain that he was no match for Zhao Feng. If he fought alone, he would probably lose his life. Ancient God Ice Flame's face was frigid, her eyes brimming with killing intent. How could this be? I heard that the array around that base was laid down by this masterly. Even the spiritual race's second elder didn't act recklessly when he arrived. Whoosh! Bzzz. The spiritual race patriarch flatly said. Ancient God Origin Jade, who was clearly doomed, had been rescued by Zhao Feng. This had become a sore point for Ancient God Ice Flame. If she did not kill Zhao Feng, she would find it very difficult to advance on her martial path. What's going on with these three? Are they all experts that Zhao Feng befriended in his travels? Master Li stroked his beard as he relayed his plan to the giant man. Master Li's name resounded through the blazing gold race. Zhao Feng's body flickered away. The giant man added, "Retreat. Get into the array core." An ancient god called out in alarm. The giant man swiftly retreated. Swish! Although the reward was tempting, Zhao Feng was too powerful and had a supreme quality defensive divine artifact like the space-time robe. Killing him would be extremely difficult. Want to leave? When they thought back to how they had targeted Zhao Feng, they felt that their luck was simply too good that they hadn't been killed by Zhao Feng. Who are these three? The giant man was slightly angered, and his body immediately exploded with powerful bloodline energy. The giant man was about to enter the flame blade. Next to him, a tall and mighty giant asked directly. The path of martial arts was bound to be accompanied by slaughter. Slaughter allowed one to grow and get stronger. Plush! At this moment, he was like a god of slaughter, causing the members of the blazing gold race to madly flee. It was rumored that Zhao Feng had single-handedly rescued Ancient God Origin Jade from Ancient God Ice Flame and Ancient God Dark Crow. At this moment, an enormous fiery pressure descended from the rear. Swish! In a flash, the world went dark as ripples of divine power that made one's heart tremble appeared. I didn't think that this boy would have so many helpers. It's about time for you all to show off. This array truly is rather unusual. Kill. The golden flesh and bone inside was a ghastly sight, and golden red blood sprayed through the air. Wish. Ancient God Blue Distance was both fearful and helpless. His left eye pulsed with eye intent, and Chaos Origin Divine Power instantly formed a miniature Chaos Origin Divine Sword. You want to use an array against me? Within the warship, there were people responsible for activating the defensive systems and activating the warship's offensive systems. But suddenly, a dark silver long sword pierced through his chest. Oh no! Ancient God, Floating Spirit sighed. Although he had long ago predicted that Zhao Feng would become extraordinary in the future, he hadn't expected to witness it so soon. The nearby Blazing Gold race members were all taken aback. A moment later, a calm and serene ripple of water spread out from his body and into the world. The giant man grimaced as he sensed a powerful danger. Kill. Okay. He's wearing a supreme quality divine artifact, the space-time robe. The linen-robed Master Li waved his hands. In the sky, countless figures were clashing with one another. The Blazing Gold race members followed Master Li's orders and swiftly took charge of the array. In a chilling flash of gray-white light, a figure of ice and snow rapidly approached Zhao Feng. It was a mysterious and elegant youth, his dark silver eyes rippling with powerful space-time ripples. The eye of space-time, the eye of death, heavens, there's also the Destruction Dragon race. Zhao Feng appeared behind the giant man and fiercely slashed with the Chaos Origin Divine Sword. He hadn't expected for him to be instantly killed by Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng died. Ancient God Blue Distance and his son trembled. A moment later, The miniature Chaos Origin Divine Sword exploded out of Zhao Feng's left eye. Swish! 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 Zhao Feng coldly snorted. With a single thought, they could change everything in the world with unimaginable power. Members of the Blazing Gold Race, follow me to kill Zhao Feng. Back then, he had been stopped by the Black Destruction Dragon and Zhao Kong, allowing Zhao Feng, an ancient god Origin Jade, to escape. At this moment, Master Li's voice came from the rear. It was a black-clothed and callous youth with a gloomy face and shrouded in death energy. His eyes were like abysses of death, frightening to behold. At the same time, Master Li took a few steps forward. He was also a peak rank 9, but even though he was a member of the Blazing Gold Race, after seeing Zhao Feng's performance, he wasn't confident at all. Zhao Kong was still helping the Black Destruction Dragon, while Zhao Wang was like a god of death, wantonly slaughtering. Bang! Ever since Zhao Feng saved ancient god Ice Flame, his ranking on the Blazing Gold Race's bounty board had skyrocketed to the top 3. In a flash. Plush. Everyone, there's no need to worry. Does Master Li have a plan? So strong. However, they were extremely wary of Zhao Feng's strength, so they temporarily refrained from taking action. Whoosh! Boom! In the distance, the members of the spiritual race were also stunned. Ancient god Ice Flame's eyes widened in shock, her face grimacing. The giant man punched out with both fists, unleashing a scorching ball of fire exuding dazzling golden light at Zhao Feng. Wearing the space-time robe, Zhao Feng had the advantage in speed, allowing him to slaughter with abandon. It's Zhao Feng. This person is a peak rank 9 with abnormal strength. Run. How could this be? Not even a reincarnated godlord would be able to advance as quickly as him. Wearing the space-time robe, Zhao Feng blinked away. Don't even think about it. No. One green array flag after another flew out, forming a strange image. Broom. Swish. Chapter 1419. How could this be? Master Li called out in alarm. The giant man was a peak rank 9 of the Blazing Gold Race, and he had an extremely thick bloodline and excellent talent. In the future, he even had a chance of becoming a godlord. The giant man had only wanted to stop Zhao Feng for a few moments so that he could complete the array. He had never expected that he would not return and would be instantly killed by Zhao Feng. The ancient gods within the demon-slaughtering celestial fire array trembled in panic. Zhao Feng was simply too powerful. A peak rank 9 ancient god was powerless to resist and could only be killed. Everyone, don't panic. The demon-slaughtering celestial fire array is complete. We'll definitely be able to kill this boy. Master Li immediately called out. Although the giant man was missing from the array, the power generated by the array was still enough to threaten a half-step godlord. Focus on controlling the array and kill Zhao Feng. The ancient god expert's eyes hardened. Master Li still had a certain amount of prestige in the Blazing Gold Race. The arrays he laid down had performed many miraculous feats for the Blazing Gold Race. Kaboom! The flaming blade, created by the array, hung high above Master Li's head, exuding a dangerous and scorching energy. The nearby spiritual race members sensed this powerful energy and couldn't help but retreat. Zhao Feng died. Master Li controlled the array and the flaming blade in the air to slash down. Before the blade even reached him, a terrifying and powerful shockwave of flames was unleashed. At the same time, the blade also exuded a spatial energy that could effectively prevent nearby enemies from using instant movement to escape. Boom! The tyrannical saber slashed down directly, as if there was a long river of flames gushing out. Bish! Before this, Zhao Feng had transformed into a dreamy silver streak of light and dodged the attack. Do you only know how to dodge? Master Li coldly called out. But in reality, Master Li was extremely shocked. Zhao Feng was simply too fast. Even if they controlled the array, they would only be able to fight back against Zhao Feng, not kill him. Every array has a weakness or an opening. Zhao Feng activated his left eye and focused on the demon-slaughtering Heaven Fire array. In an instant, Zhao Feng understood everything that was going on inside the demon-slaughtering heavenly fire formation. Found it. Zhao Feng's eyes flashed. In the next moment, he left behind layers of shadows and approached the demon-slaughtering heavenly fire array. To dare approach the demon-slaughtering celestial fire array, he's truly seeking death. Moreover, not even a half-step God Lord would be able to break the defense of the demon-slaughtering celestial fire array. Master Li's face was filled with joy as he started to cast a spell. At the same time, the demon-slaughtering celestial fire formation released a huge ring-shaped fire wave. The closer Zhao Feng got, the greater the heat and pressure he felt. Even a half-step divine master with a weaker divine body would not dare to come into close contact with the demon-slaughtering heavenly fire formation. Chaotic Heaven Void Ring. Zhao Feng immediately activated his defensive combat skill, forming a dark silver halo around his body. Immediately, the Chaotic Heaven Void Ring blocked the scorching heat wave, and it continued to absorb its energy. The breakthrough point is here. As Zhao Feng approached the array, he slashed with the Chaos Origin Divine Sword. Boom! Bang! Zhao Feng's attack instantly left a small gap in the enormous flame array. However, the array had a self-healing ability, so the gap was quickly mended. But the moment this gap appeared, Zhao Feng's Chaos Origin Divine Sword unleashed a Chaos Origin Sword Bolt. No! Within the array, a rank 7 ancient god sensed death and fear on his face. But his cultivation was too low, so he had no chance of surviving a casual attack from Zhao Feng. Swoosh! The Chaos Origin Sword Bolt pierced through the rank 7 ancient god's body and pulverized it. Oh no! Master Li grimaced as he controlled the flame blade to attack Zhao Feng. Thwish! Zhao Feng transformed into a streak of gold and silver light that instantly fled to the other side of the array. Damn it! Even if the space ultimacy is restricted, this kid's speed is still too fast. Master Li had a bitter look on his face. Although the demon-slaughtering celestial fire array was extremely powerful, its speed was mediocre. And now, with one less person, the array's power was greatly reduced. The rank 7 ancient god is where the array's defenses are weaker. This is the breakthrough point. Zhao Feng faintly smiled. This kid actually saw the breakthrough point of the array. Master Li's face was filled with hatred. Retreat. Master Li made his decision. Zhao Feng had the advantage in speed, and they were unable to harm him in the slightest. And Zhao Feng himself had seen through the demon-slaughtering celestial fire array's weak points. If this continued, the demon-slaughtering celestial fire array would collapse sooner or later, and not even he would be able to survive. Boom! Master Li and the others controlled the demon-slaughtering celestial fire array to retreat. None of you will be able to leave today. Zhao Feng bellowed as he shot forward. Thwish! He approached the blazing gold race members in the demon-slaughtering celestial fire array. The people I want to kill must die. Zhao Feng's eyes focused as he once more went to the weak point of the demon-slaughtering celestial fire array. Chaos Origin Transformation. The Chaos Heaven Void Ring around him suddenly flowed back, transforming into majestic Chaos Origin Divine Power that was poured into the Chaos Origin Divine Sword in his hand. BZZ. In a flash, the Chaos Origin Divine Sword in his hand became extremely heavy, and the Chaos Origin Giant God Sword expanded to several thousand feet in length, unleashing terrifying ripples of chaotic energy that shook the world. For a moment, the powerful ancient gods on the battlefield, including the half-step ancient gods, all sensed this and were flabbergasted. Die! The massive Chaos Origin Divine Sword swept through everything in its path. Crack! It cleaved the demon-slaughtering celestial fire array in two, causing it to crumble and disintegrate. In this process, the massive Chaos Origin Divine Sword continued to devour the array's energy, its power undiminished as it swept through the ancient gods within the array. Ah! Screams of despair rang out as nearly 10 ancient gods, including rank 7 and rank 8 ancient gods, were killed by the sword. What terrifying, chaotic energy! Run! Master Li's face was filled with fear as he led his heavily injured subordinates out of the explosion of the array. Want to leave? Zhao Feng faintly smiled and prepared to attack again. But at this moment, an enormous pressure engulfed Zhao Feng. Ancient God Dark Crow, save me! Master Li immediately called for help. Whoosh! A skinny old man in a dark green robe rushed over. Zhao Feng, you're too impudent. Ancient God Dark Crow growled. Ancient God Dark Crow, was quite famous throughout the ancient desolate realm of gods, but he had lost to a rising star like Zhao Feng some time ago. He wanted to kill Zhao Feng just as much as he did ancient God Ice Flame. A loser, Zhao Feng flatly said, ignoring ancient God Dark Crow. Ew. If you and ancient God Origin Jade hadn't worked together, this old man would never have lost. Ancient God Dark Crow's face went red in fury as he bellowed. Kaboom! His entire body was shrouded in mists of various colors as he flew toward Zhao Feng. At this moment, Ancient God Dark Crow was like a cancer, his entire body covered in poison. Even a half-step God Lord would lose a layer of skin if they were infected. Ancient God Dark Crow, I spared your life last time, but since you've delivered yourself to me, I won't be polite. Zhao Feng's eyes chilled as he fearlessly charged at Ancient God Dark Crow with the Chaos Heaven Void Ring. What a joke! Spare my life. Ancient God Dark Crow immediately began to laugh. Although he wasn't confident that he could kill Zhao Feng also wasn't confident that he could kill him. Frigid Ice Mist. With a wave of Ancient God Dark Crow's hand, Ancient God Dark Crow unleashed a gray-white poisonous mist. The grayish-white, icy poisonous mist instantly formed an isolated icy poison domain. All the divine power and vitality within the domain were corroded by the icy poison. Zhao Feng was just about to approach when he realized that even his Chaos Heaven Void Ring was being affected, its power gradually weakening. At the same time, when he tried to send his divine sense into the mist, it would also be corroded by the ice. Haha, this is a secret art that I created using a new poison I developed to deal with you. Ancient God Dark Crow loudly laughed from within the frigid ice mist. After losing to Zhao Feng last time, he had made ample preparations. This frigid ice mist had the effect of isolating divine sense. If Zhao Feng didn't charge in, he would find it very difficult to injure Ancient God Dark Crow. But once he did, he would be assailed by the frigid ice mist, causing his speed and divine power to slow down. Suddenly, a dark green beam of light shot out of the mist. Zhao Feng's reaction was sharp, and he quickly dodged. He had to admit that Ancient God Dark Crow truly was very talented in the Poison Dao. This frigid ice mist was rather effective at countering Zhao Feng's abilities. Even the chaotic Heaven Void Ring would be affected, and its power would weaken. But if his divine sense couldn't enter, would Zhao Feng be unable to determine Ancient God Dark Crow's position? Bzzz. A dreamy mist spun out of his left eye as the see-through ability of Zhao Feng's left eye was instantly boosted. Within the frigid ice mist, Ancient God Dark Crow's body trembled. He suddenly sensed that Zhao Feng was staring at him. Swish! Suddenly, the mist in Zhao Feng's left eye flashed as a miniature Chaos Origin divine sword shot out. No! Ancient God Dark Crow was dumbfounded. Zhao Feng had actually been able to lock onto his position. Swoosh! Unable to dodge, Ancient God Dark Crow was pierced through by the miniature Chaos Origin divine sword, causing him to vomit blood. At this moment, an extremely broad Chaos Origin divine sword slashed down from the sky. No! Ancient God Dark Crow hastily dodged, but he was still a little too late. Swoosh! Swoosh! Zhao Feng's Chaos Origin divine sword slashed at Ancient God Dark Crow's right shoulder, and then it severed Ancient God Dark Crow's right arm. Ah! Ancient God Dark Crow screamed as he endured the intense pain and swiftly retreated. You think you can escape? Zhao Feng sneered as he condensed a Chaos Origin Divine Sword in his other hand. Swish! Swish! Two Chaos Origin Divine Swords, 100 feet long, crisscrossed and slashed at Ancient God Dark Crow. Boom! Bang! Ancient God Dark Crow immediately threw out a 5-colored pearl and detonated it. Various powerful poisons instantly exploded to block Zhao Feng's attack. How could this be? He's even stronger than before. Did he not use his full strength last time? Ancient God Dark Crow's body trembled, his mind filled with fear. Kaboom! The two massive Chaos Origin Divine Swords pierced through the poisonous mist and slashed down. Although they were somewhat weakened, they were still not something Ancient God Dark Crow could block. Bang! Two gruesome wounds appeared on Ancient God Dark Crow's back, exposing his flesh and bones. Swish! The Chaos Origin Divine Sword in Zhao Feng's left hand suddenly vanished, replaced by a crystal mirror made of lightning. 9 lightning soul refinement. 9 thick lightning dragons were released from the 9 lightning soul refining mirror. The 9 lightning dragons soared into the sky and then began to descend. Boom! Hiss! The 9 lightning dragons bombarded Ancient God Dark Crow's body, their boundless lightning energy madly torturing Ancient God Dark Crow to a state worse than death. All this lightning energy transformed into lightning chains that bound Ancient God Dark Crow's soul. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.